Head of Strategy and Development, standing just underneath us here on the broadcast side at Frankston. We also headed into the Richmond camp with their new assistant coach, Emma Grant. The Tigers getting set to run out onto the ground at the moment. We asked Emma about the new talent on display at Tigerland and which first-year players are going to burst out of the blocks tonight.
Yeah, super excited. Obviously, the three girls that are playing their first AFLW game in Millsy, Stella and Meigs, all bring some amazing attributes. Obviously, young Millsy with her, just her hunt and her pressure around the footy and hopefully snap a couple of goals. Stella's composure, mature head on a very young body. And then Megan, who's obviously come across, she was a train on at GWS, train on at North, and we've picked her up and we are very, very happy to have her. So, her grunt in the middle will be really, really crucial for us tonight.
Richmond overall as a team, where do you think the improvement's going to come from this year with Richmond?
Look, it's going to come all over the ground, to be honest, and that's obviously, we're just looking at, if everyone brings an extra, few percent then across the ground, then, as a team, we're going to improve, and that's all we're asking at the moment. Obviously, season 1 with 0 wins, season 2 with 3 wins, we're just looking for that continual improvement, and, it's obviously been a long pre-season, but the girls have bought in exceptionally well. The coaches and staff have obviously put a huge amount of work into it, and so, we're just excited to see what the girls can produce.
Emma Grant there, Richmond assistant coach, former Bendigo Thunder superstar, and of course a Collingwood AFLW fixture in the first few years of the competition, joining us on Grandstand AFLW in the build-up to our season opener. The sun's out here at Frankston. There's still a shower falling as the players warm up. Richmond at the beach end of the ground, St Kilda at the Young Street end, and there's a pretty healthy crowd in here too tonight, which is good to see. The first time that Frankston's held AFLW, of course, with St Kilda's usual Moorabbin facility being out of action for a little while tonight. Joel Peterson, Jess Webster, Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins with you on Grandstand AFLW. Shiloh, a lot of unknowns as we head into a new season. St Kilda have been an interesting watch over the last couple of years. A promising year one. Last year, not quite sure where the development went. Where do you think they go starting tonight under their new coach in Nick Del Santo?
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of time spent just working each other out and building the relationship between coach and playing group. And I really liked where St Kilda was sort of going about maybe halfway through last year, and then probably didn't capitalise on the gains in that first season. For me, I worry about their outs. Their outs are really big for me. Yes, they get Liv Vesely back, and Liv is a champion player. She was part of that 4-player group that equalled the best and fairest in their first year. But, that Patricios, Tiana Smith.
So top 2 in their best and fairest last year.
Gone. At this point, Patricios isn't playing. Exxon's not in the team. Xenos not in the team. And also Sheila is ruled out at this point for round 1. So there's a lot of outs and really experienced and probably players that are in their top 10. And
their top 2 draftees from Ash Richards and Ella Friend not in the side tonight either. So they are a very young side and experienced side. How they come together. They played well in patches in their practice match against Carlton a couple of weeks ago, but they'll be an interesting watch.
They will be. And I also think this ground will play well for them. To be honest, and I'd be interested in your thoughts on this, Hutch, but there's no wing here, and it's a really short ground. So you've got the likes of Greiser there. Quick, long and direct footy. If you win the clearance, get it on the boot, long down the middle, throw it in Greiser's hands.
Anywhere
and maybe
forward of the centre square, she's a chance.
Absolutely. And then they've got some really good small forwards. I love Jess Matten. She's going to be a terrific player for St Kilda for a long time. So you've got some talent at their feet, but you've got to win the clearance battle in the middle. That's the bit that I'm worried about with St Kilda.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the main thing. I think they really want to actually isolate Greiser down there, one out with a defender. She's incredibly strong one-on-one. What you don't want is the ball to be slowed down and a Sarah Darcy, to be able to just come across the front of that contest, take easy marks, and then rebound off that half-back line.
You're the key position player among us, Meg. If you were playing on Caitlin Greiser tonight, how would you approach it? Because Carlton were able to zone off. You don't have the threat of Kate Sheila as a contested marking player last night. It seems as though Richmond should be pretty well set up to maybe, or at least start to nullify that threat.
Yeah, look, it'll be all dependent upon, what the supply is going to be like. I think, I think if they can slow the supply down, then you can actually be able to read the play and probably with Greiser, you want to play in front of her and stop that lead. But, she's very, very strong as well. She can nudge you under the ball and take a good mark. So, yeah, incredibly tough job, whoever gets the job on her tonight. But, yeah, definitely it is the midfield that's going to help her out.
And Richmond, 7 first gamers tonight. So a couple that are playing their first game in the competition. Stella Reid, their number 5 pick out of Oakley. Amelia Yassir, the number 16 pick in the draft out of the Calder Cannons and Pascoe Vale. And Megan Kearley, who's a mature age recruit taken at number 48 in the draft last year, the captain of North Melbourne's VFLW side and their best and fairest. They've picked up 4 other players. Beth Lynch, Maddie Shevlin is a first gamer for them. Jess Hosking comes across from Carlton, and Poppy Kelly, the former Saint, into the Richmond team tonight. What are you expecting from the Tigers, Hutchie?
Yeah, look, I think what you've got is you've actually brought in experience. We talk about some of those newer players that they've drafted, but a lot of the players that they have brought in do have experience playing at either AFLW level or in Megan's sort of position. She's played against really strong, hard bodies at VFLW level. So I think they're going to be really well equipped and well prepared to take on their first game in these colours. But for some of them, their first game ever. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Richmond are going to produce. It's certainly going to be a different Richmond team, I reckon, that we've seen in the last couple of years.
What are you expecting from the Tigers tonight, Shiloh?
Again, I think, there's been so much turnover with both of these teams. I think both teams only have 16 of their original players left. So, again, it's about jostling for position, trying to find out what their structure is. For me, both of these teams, again, it's a consolidation year. It's about settling who stays, who gets moved on, because there's been so much turnover and change, coaching staff as well as playing groups. So, again, this year is about learning and development for both teams, I think. But if you're a young player out on the field tonight, now's your chance. You get to step up, show the world what you can do and why you should be part of the future of your club.
Looking forward to an exciting prospect. Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins, your experts on Grandstand AFLW, as we welcome in a new voice down on the boundary for us tonight, enjoying the sunshine at the moment, but I'm not going to jinx it, is Lauren Borden. Lauren, welcome to the coverage on Grandstand AFLW.
Thanks very much, Joel. It's fantastic to be part of the boundary for the team this year, and also extra fantastic now that the sun is out and shining down here again. During the warm-up, the players just had to contend with a deluge of rain after probably driving here in full sunshine. So it has been 4 seasons in one day for the last hour and a half or so. But now we'll have Hannah Priest winning the toss, and St Kilda will kick to their right-hand side of your radio dial to get this game underway.
Good on you, Lauren. Look forward to hearing from you, boundary side, throughout the evening. To the beach end, the Saints go this evening out toward the bay, which we've seen the storms rolling across throughout the course of the night. The sun setting behind the Brian Mace grandstand here at Frankston. And Richmond heading toward the Young Street end. Katie Brennan, All-Australian centre-half forward last year, marauding around in the forward line. Shiloh, a tip in this season opener.
Oh, look, I'm going with the Tigers, but just noticing Tilly Lucas-Rod going to the midfield. Rosie Dillon starting on the bench. Interesting change-up already from the Saints.
Hutchie?
Yeah, I'm with Richmond. I think Katie Brennan's going to have a bit of a night tonight.
Great to have you with us on Grandstand AFLW Season 6, about to get underway. The Saints and the Tigers to kick you off. Here's Jess Webster.
It's Rewat versus Seymour in the ruck, and the first clearance almost goes the way of Hosking. Monconti picks the ball up, where she's wrapped up immediately in a tackle. Ball still in dispute inside the centre circle. Seymour tries to kick it off the deck. In goes hard is Vesely. Now Lucas Rod picks up the footy. She's dispossessed and stripped of it. It's hot Hurley here at Frankston Oval as the ball spills out towards the outer side wing and eventually rolls over the boundary line. That's a hot start in the first 27 seconds of the season opener at Frankston Oval. We'll have a boundary throw-in on the grandstand side of the ground.
As is the custom, boundary umpire comes in the 10 metres away from the grandstand on the outer side and tosses it back in. Seymour and Watt renew acquaintances. Seymour reaches across, slaps it back toward the boundary line, follows up, soccers it off the ground, eventually picks it up and gets her kick forward. Smothered off the boot, ends up in the hands of Phillips for the Saints. Taken in the tackle, tried to find White by hand for the Saints. Tigers with numbers around the footy. Spills to Sarah Hosking, taken in the tackle. Handball taken by Lucas Rod. And now it spills the way of Brancatazano, who comes through the middle of the ground. The kick speared to centre half forward. Bernardi dropped what she should have taken. It spills to the feet now. Richmond work hard in Levy, who throws herself after the football. She's taken down right on the front edge of the centre square and will have a ball up. Richmond's attacking half, minute and a half gone, no score on the board as yet.
I feel like the ball has travelled about 10 metres up and down, but it's gone the whole width of the ground.
So ball up, Richmond half forward from the tap. Brand Catazzano, or a rush kick towards the 50-metre line, picked up by Phillips. She just hacks it out of the danger zone, kicks up to the wing. Dempsey goes in hard for the Tigers. They win it through Shevlin. Long kick inside 50. Up the Flyers go. Wakefield crashes the pack. Spills to Lucy Burke, the debutant for St Kilda, but her kick is smothered. Benardi picks it up. Handballs to Wakefield. Now on to Yasia. To Brennan. She weaves through traffic. She gets the hands free. Handballs backwards to Levy. Now tries to spot up the target inside the pocket. It's dropped by Yasia. Ball still in dispute inside 50 for Richmond. In goes Ott for St Kilda. Now Conti, she has a go, picks it up, handballs backwards to Levy. She's under pressure. Now it goes to Seymour. She's wrapped up in a tackle and we're just outside forward 50 for Richmond. We'll have a ball up, and what a fast start it is. 2.5 minutes in the opening term.
Frenetic through the early stages. Seymour reaches up, taps it down. Giving chase is Vesely back into the side for the Saints. Conti rips it away, runs the arc, darts it inside the 50, over the outstretched arms of Bernardi. Brennan tracks it down in the pocket, can't keep it in. And a throw-in 40 out from the Richmond goal.
Speaking of Katie Brennan, she's made a great start. And just in terms of her 1%ers, a smother there, really looking to set her teammates up with handballs in that forward 50. So, yeah, really good start there by Katie. Not obviously hitting the scoreboard, but really, really good 1%ers.
She'll go in ruck now against Watt. Inside forward 50 for Richmond. Shoves Watt out of the way. Sarah Hosking had a go. Free kick coming to the Tigers here. And it'll be Monconti who threw the arms back as she was held without the football, right on the edge of the 50. Hasn't kicked a goal for Richmond in her third season. Spears it to Bernardi, who bounced off her chest again. Picked up by Lucas Rod to Vesely. The Saints tumble it outside the 50. It'll come back in though. Jess Hosking standing start high inside the 50. Yassir has a go. Bernardi, it's spilled in her direction. Phillips mops up for the Saints to Lucas Rod, and now Van Dyke.
Van Dyke kicks St Kilda to the outer side wing. It goes over the pack. Miller first to meet it for Richmond. She breaks one tackle. Now handballs to Levy, right against the boundary line. Will send Richmond back into attack in the Brennan direction, but Priest, the captain for St Kilda, fills the hole, takes a defensive mark, although it is a free kick going against Brennan, and Jacobson will be the recipient.
We got the new stand rule as well going on here, so that's been really, really good to see.
There is the new standing on the mark rule as Jacobson relays the footy, but it's a turnover now. Dempsey picks it up on the 50-metre line, lowers the eyes. Jacobson with the fist over Brennan. It spills to Dylan. She dives on top of it, needs to get it out and does. Lucas Rod, handballs to Phillips. Now kicks towards the grandstand wing, and it's the lasso free kick rule as Vaught couldn't get there in time, and it's a free kick to the Tigers going to Sarah Darcy.
So Darcy just forward of the wing on the grandstand side. 4.5 minutes gone, opening term. No score here at Frankston. Kicks inside the 50. Watt slapped it away from Yassir. Falls to ground inside the arc for the Tigers. They all hail cabs. Will have a ball up. Joel Peterson and Jess Webster calling for you on grandstand AFLW. Mick Hutchins and Shiloh Curtis, your experts. Watt rises highest in ruck again for St Kilda. Starles there for the Tigers. Dispossessed. Van Dyke goes through. Can't get clean hands. The top pick for Richmond, Stella Reid, throws herself at the football. Ott comes away with it for the Saints. Nifty hand pass to Priest, who had to bide her time before getting rid of the footy. It's taken away by Conti. Her handball put a teammate into trouble. Brennan was held without the ball though. And Katie Brennan will take a free kick 52 metres out from the Richmond goal at right half forward.
So Richmond have had all the play in their attacking half early, but haven't managed to get a score on the board as yet. As Brennan from outside 50 will just kick it to a dangerous position. Wakefield will get front position. She couldn't come down with the mark. Priest collects, runs away with it, kicks out towards right, half back. Vesely traps it. Hurry kick down the wing. And Miller and Guttridge, who just bumps her out of the way, picks up the footy. She's got Greiser all alone inside 50. Coming across late was Darcy. Affects the contest. Now Lynch picks it up at ground level, kicks inside the centre square, and Lucas Rod taps it to advantage to Priest, who runs away with it. She's got McCarthy all alone in space on the wing. Had a little bit too much on the kick, but McCarthy will run onto it.
Just set up for her in the end. McCarthy's kick poked inside the forward 50, looking for Matten. Bounces out in front of Cordner, and a ball in 45 out from the Saints goal in the right forward pocket. In front of the St Kilda or the Frankston change rooms at the beach end. here at Frankston Oval. 6.5 gone, opening term, no score on the board for either side as yet. Cutting in ruck, the debutant for the Saints. The boundary throw-in fell short. We'll have another go. In fact, it's going to be a free kick. It is. It's actually a free kick to the Saints and to the first gamer, Leah Cutting.
Well, I really liked before how St Kilda just created a lot of space in the forward half of the ground. Isolated Greiser, as we spoke about pre-game, and they're off now.
Hands off to Lucas Rod. Drives a low footy to fall forward. It's off hands. There's bodies that fly at the top of the goal square at the beach end, and it's going to be a free kick going to Beth Lynch, the Tigers' first gamer, presented by her brother Tom with her jumper before the start. She'll take it from fullback.
So Lynch kicks towards right half back. Coming across the front of the pack was Phillips. She couldn't come down with it. Now the ball at ground level. Brian Catazano jumps on it. White jumps on her. The umpire circles and calls holding the ball. Free kick to Tani White, just outside forward 50 for the Saints. She loads up, just wants to go in the Greiser direction, but it goes over the pack, and that's the first goal of season 2022. Tani White, a long bomb from 50 metres, clears the pack and rolls through, and St Kilda draw first blood at Frankston Oval.
Geez, that was a fair shoe on her. Absolutely. I don't think there was any wind either. So absolutely got hold of that football and carry right through. And great work by Greiser on the line there to protect the ball going through. And it looks like the umpires are quite hot on the holding the ball as well. Like as soon as you sit on that one, you want to make sure you're trying to get rid of it.
She will be a player to watch for the Saints this year, Shiloh. After, I guess, an injury-interrupted build-up to last season, she might really come into her own.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the work forward of the contest. We spoke before about trying to isolate Greiser in the forward half. I like the space that St Kilda are creating, that transition, that quick transition. There's not much time on that football. They're playing on every opportunity they can.
First goal of Tani White's AFLW career, and what a launch it was. From the centre, a free kick going to Bran Catazano. Pokes her kick to Reid, who comes out and takes it in front of her face. Left foot kick inside the 50. Bernardi low down, almost took the most difficult of her three chances so far. Immediately diving upon her is Lucy Burke. Ball up 35 out from the Tigers' goal.
Hutch, you spoke about the stand rule before. It seems that players just want to get it and go and maximise that width that they've got with the stand rule.
Or Seymour punched it out in ruck. It spilled away to Keeley, who throws it on the boot for the Tigers. First kick, first goal. Megan Keeley is mobbed on debut in the AFLW. And a smart bit of play off the pack sees her open the scoring for Richmond in season 2022. Scores tied at 1 straight apiece. And we've played 9 minutes in the opening term on Grandstand AFLW.
That was a tidy little inside-out check side there and just came around just nicely. Fantastic reading of the ball off the pack and fantastic crumbing goal as well. And you know, perfect time to kick your first goal. All nerves are gone. Well done by Megan.
Let's go down to Lauren on the boundary.
Yeah, there's certainly a strong St Kilda presence here, obviously, as you'd think at Frankston Park, but a big Richmond cheer squad there behind the goals there, celebrating the goal there in the first goal of the Tiger season.
So from the restart, Vesely kicks out wide to Salidis, who kicks across the ground to Van Dyke. Still got the ball inside the centre square. Just chips it forward to Dillon. She's bumped by Hosking, and the umpire calls 50 metres. So Rosie Dillon infringed by Sarah Hosking, and she's going to be marched towards range here. Rosie Dillon about 30 metres out from goal, directly in front, and this will be a shot for St Kilda's second.
Rosie Dillon is a smart player, and she did milk that, but smart of her. She took the contact and just lost her balance.
Very experienced youngster.
So Rosie Dillon is yet to kick a goal in her AFLW career, and she's got her first and celebrates accordingly. And she also gets mobbed. We've seen first goals a couple of times already here at Frankston Oval. St Kilda, 2 goals straight. Richmond, 1 goal. And we played about 12 minutes in the opening term.
Well, I'm really liking the confidence of the St Kilda group then. Like we spoke before about that quick transition from defence to offence, but then they had the patience and composure just then to chip it around. Some little short chip passes. They switched across the ground, which I really loved, and they're kicking beautifully and accurately, and that allowed Rosie to milk that 50 and obviously get that shot inside 30. Very composed and confident play by St Kilda.
Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins, your experts on grandstand AFLW. From the centre, Sarah Hosking sockers it inside the forward 50 for Richmond. Reid has a go at doing the same once the ball was inside the arc. Is tackled through the contest. Lucas Rod had a go. Priest has a go. She's beset. Tackling pressure fierce from the Tigers inside the forward 50. Good stuff from Keeley. And a ball up 40 metres out from the Richmond goal. The Saints 2 straight, Richmond 1 straight. 12 gone opening term on grandstand AFLW. 0467920222. If you want to let us know where you're listening from this evening, on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and via the AFLW app, 0467920222. Love to hear from you. Ball goes up, comes crashing back down to the turf. We'll do it all again, still inside forward 50 for Richmond.
So Cutting and Kelly in the ruck. Hosking goes in, but she's absolutely gang tackled by a couple of Saints. The ball spills to Bran Catazano. She's wrapped up, manages to get the hands free to Yasia, who tumbles the ball inside 50. Guttridge, though, for the Saints, picks up and just hacks it out of there. But plenty of Vesely goes in. She can't collect. Now Bran Catazano, she goes in. Vesely dispossesses her. Players converge. The umpire's having a good look at this. Eventually lets the play go, and the ball is still pinballing around. It now spills out to Keeley. Handball into the path of Hosking. Now Birchall picks it up. She's tackled by Priest, dispossessed. Still a hot footy at the top of 50 for Richmond as the players dive on it. Vesely's in under the pack, and now the umpire calls for a ball up. 52 metres out from Richmond's goal.
What is evident to me right now is that you need to be super clean. We do talk about it all the time, but just if you miss that first possession off the ground, you're in trouble.
It's been a slightly nervous start for both of these sides as far as that goes. Reid inside forward 50 for the Tigers. Slick work. You see it to Keeley. Got caught by Lucas Rod. Tackled fiercely. Umpire says, I'll have it. 30 metres out from the Tigers' goal at the Young Street end.
When you talk about those 7 debutants for Richmond, you see her right now as the pick of them. She's been outstanding inside 50.
Cutting reaches up, slaps it down, taken off the pack by Bernardi, who throws it on the boot. She's had a few opportunities so far, and she makes good with that one. Christina Bernardi ties the scores again, and it's end-to-end stuff here at Frankston Oval. 2 straight 12 apiece, St Kilda and Richmond. We played 13 minutes in the AFLW season opener for season 2022. Your experts are Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins.
Yeah, it's a great reward there for Christina Bernardi. She's got on the end of a couple of passes inside 50 and just hasn't managed to hold on to them. So, but yeah, her bread and butter is reading that ball off the pack and just snapping him out of nowhere. So well done there, and great reward for Benno.
Geez, you'd be nervous, wouldn't you, if you're a St Kilda defender inside 50? And both of Richmond goals have come off really quick play at stoppages. No room there.
Goal for goal contest at the moment is from the restart. Vesely just kicks St Kilda towards half forward, goes over the head of Shannon. Now Bott goes in. She's worried out of it by Miller, who goes back in and dives on it. Fires out a handball to Darcy. Had too much on it for her. Vesely goes in again. She's stripped of it. Ball still alive inside Saints forward 50. Players jump on it. And we've got a ball up 35 metres out from goal as the sun's shining here at Frankston Oval. A scintillating start to the season opener.
They can't be split after 14 minutes. 2 straight apiece. Greiser in ruck for the Saints. Slaps it down inside the forward 50. Taken by Conti for the Tigers. Guttridge knocked the handball down. Threw it on the left boot from the forward pocket. Missed to the near side. Kicked the first behind of the game. 2-1 the Saints, 2 straight the Tigers. 15 gone opening term on grandstand AFLW.
So Maddie Shevlin with the kick-in duties, making her club debut for Richmond today. A long penetrating kick outside defensive 50 to right half forward. Almost taken by Brennan. She couldn't come down with the mark and now turns tackler and forces a stoppage. Right half forward for Richmond, close to the boundary line. So 15 minutes played opening term. St Kilda lead it by a point. We've gone goal for goal. It's been a fantastic start. It's from the ball up. Quick kick inside forward 50 for St Kilda. But Darcy takes the relieving mark for Richmond at centre half back.
Just in the shade of the pine tree on the outer side. Kick smothered. Spills to ground inside the defensive 50. Conti's there. Handball to Dempsey. Pushed over the line as she kicked. It'll be thrown back inside forward 50 for the Saints in the left forward pocket.
I think we'll see a lot of that, of Sarah Darcy's coming in and taking those contested marks, even uncontested marks. She's incredibly talented at reading the flight of the football, and a great position for her to play across half-back line.
Shifted to defence last year after spending most of her time at Collingwood up forward. Made a real impact, as you said, Meg Hutchins. From the stoppage, Conti was tackled. Did she have the ball? Umpire said no, she did not. The All-Australian best and fairest from last year. In fact, the umpire said the other way. It is going to be a St Kilda free kick to Alana Woodward, the former Tiger.
Well, Conti just threw her arms out then, didn't even try and dispose of it, pretended she didn't have it. Clearly she did.
She was convinced it was her free kick, though.
Oh, absolutely. She'll do that every day.
So Alana Woodward on St Kilda debut after 5 games with Richmond. An inaugural VFLW Tiger made her way into their AFLW side. Kicks from 45 metres out. It'll fall short. It's fisted straight up at the top of the defensive goal square for the Tigers. And it's run out of there by Lynch and Seymour. Kick only as far as Solitis at right half forward for St Kilda. A bouncing ball collected beautifully by White around the corner to Lucas Rod. But her kick tumbles into the arms of Sarah Darcy, who was waiting for it in defence for the Tigers.
Started well as Sarah Darcy as she handballs to a running Mon Conti, who kicks Richmond towards the wing. It's off hands, picked up by Watt of St Kilda. Her handball ill-directed, running onto it is Sarah Hosking. Handballs over the top to Wakefield, and Richmond can go into attack. She's got Stahl all alone inside forward 50. He's got a few metres on Lucy Burke. Stahl picks it up, goes one way, then the other. A screw kick around the corner. Phillips for St Kilda will be first to meet it. She's got 2 Tigers chasing her, but a lovely kick. Spots up Van Dyke at right half forward, close to the boundary line, and St Kilda saved the day.
Well done, Lucy Burke there. She was caught about 30 metres away from her opponent, but managed to corral her, and St Kilda have got possession. Well done.
Oh, Van Dyke's given it up. She's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Right in front of our broadcast position. Saints by a point. 2-1 plays 2 straight. 18 gone opening term. Gabby Seymour goes to fetch the footy at left half forward. 70 from home. Wheels away on the right boot. Up and under inside the 50. Brendan comes crashing out. Guttridge stands her ground. Dillon is taken down by Conti. Big tackle.
Well, she had to stick that tackle, didn't she, Conti? She had Dillon running through. Dillon gets out. They free the footy. Well done, Conti.
Normally the shoes on the other foot. Rosie Dillon laying the tackles. That was fierce from Mon Conti. White goes in for the Saints. She can't come away with it quite cleanly. She's wrapped up and a ball up 52 metres out from the Richmond goal. St Kilda 2-1, Richmond 2 straight, nearly 19 played opening term.
Watt wins the tap. Down to Vesely, but she's wrapped up immediately, and that is the quarter-time siren here at Frankston Oval. What a first quarter we've had in the season opener. St Kilda 2-1-13 lead Richmond 2 straight 12 goals for St Kilda to Rosie Dillon and Tani White, and for Richmond, Megan Kelly and Christina Bernardi. A fantastic contest to start season 2022.
It was end-to-end stuff here at Frankston. The sun's shining. We had a storm roll in earlier. It's cleared up at the moment, and it cleared the way for a very entertaining opening to this season 2022 campaign in the AFL Women's Competition. St Kilda by a point at their adopted home venue here at Frankston. 2-1-13 to Richmond, 2 straight 12. You're listening to it all on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital. This is Grandstand, AFLW.
Summer, the perfect time to dive into a world of entertainment on ABC iView with favourite shows like Back to Nature or Kangaroo Beach.
I don't believe it!
And something to suit every mood like Universe with Brian Cox or Born to Spy.
I'd like to see that.
And how about all the episodes ever of Bluey? All your summer streaming on ABC iView.
You and me in the summertime.
AFLW on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Now the ball at ground level. Brand Catazano jumps on it. White jumps on her. The umpire circles and calls holding the ball. Free kick to Tani White, just outside forward 50 for the Saints. She loads up, just wants to go in the Greiser direction, but it goes over the pack, and that's the first goal of season 2022. Tani White, a long bomb from 50 metres, clears the pack and rolls through as St Kilda draw first blood at Frankston Oval.
Or Seymour punched it out in ruck. It spilled away to Keeley, who throws it on the boot for the Tigers. First kick, first goal. Megan Keeley is mobbed. Cutting reaches up, slaps it down, taken off the pack by Bernardi, who throws it on the boot. She's had a few opportunities so far, and she makes good with that one.
The AFLW on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
An entertaining start here at Frankston on Grandstand AFLW. Season 2022 is underway, and it's St Kilda 2-1-13 leading Richmond 2 straight 12. Joel Peterson and Jess Webster with you on Grandstand AFLW. Great to have your company on ABC Radio in Victoria, South Australia, the top end, and in Tasmania, ABC Sport Digital right around the country, and via the AFLW app, when you can listen to selected games throughout the season. 0467 920 222 is our number if you want to get in touch. 0467 920 222. Love to know where you're listening from. If you're on the road after a long day listening to Jim Maxwell, the voice of summer and the Test cricket. Australia with a pretty strong day on day 3 of the Ashes at the SCG. 0467 920 222. St Kilda by a point at quarter time. Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins. What did you make of the opening stanza?
Yeah, well, look, if you look at the numbers, you know, Richmond seem like they're ahead. They've had more possession. They've had more time in possession, more inside 50s. They're basically leading the stat count everywhere, but they're behind on the scoreboard by a point. So what that says, they've had a lot of inside 50 opportunity, but maybe haven't been able to capitalise on that space and on that opportunity inside 50. So I'm interested as to why that's not happening. There's, you know, a number of times it's bounced off Bernardi's chest. Yasir, I mean, she is going to be a player. How exciting is she? But for me, it's the smalls, and there's a lot of congestion inside 50 at the moment for Richmond. So if they're going to try and capitalise on that possession count, they're going to need to open up that forward 50 space so they've got true avenue to goal. But I feel like tonight, Hutch, that it's a game for smalls, not talls. And so when you think about the omission of Sheila, then I don't actually know if that's going to harm St Kilda too much, just having the one tall in Greiser. That's what I've taken from tonight's game so far, that tonight's a game for quick smalls.
Absolutely. And look, what I'm also saying is that Richmond are probably trying to use a lot of shape with handball to get out of a contest to get a really clear possession, where I think St Kilda are using a lot more by foot. Paddy Hill spoke before the game about using the shape, so using shape by foot to move the ball down the ground. Like, obviously he knows this ground very, very well, having coached at Frankston before. So I think that's the difference that we're seeing, is that they're kicking, but they're kicking a little bit longer and actually getting it down into the forward line and putting the pressure on the Richmond defenders, whereas Richmond are probably maybe playing around with the footy just a little bit too much and not isolating their forwards. Bernardi's been great on the lead, has put down a couple, but that's been promising that the ball has been delivered in there. That was early on as well, so it did turn a little bit in that quarter.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity for Richmond in that really quick ball movement. The handball receives 18-8, and that really shows you the sort of game plan that they want to play. And to get those 2 quick opportunities out of those stoppages was pretty amazing, and there wasn't any time in that. I think already what we're probably going to learn is that AFLW is going to be quicker again this year, and I think we saw the stand rule, the way in which the stand rule was played. As soon as the umpire indicates to the player that you've got possession and the free kick or the mark, they're playing on as quick as possible, because they know that they've got that width that they can really exploit and get the ball moving nice and quickly, and maybe get ahead of any kind of defensive transition from the oppo. So bit of a different game style maybe than we've seen historically with AFLW, maybe a little bit quicker and a bit more of a play on game.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think, but also in terms of stats, what I'm also seeing is that Mon Conti probably needs a little bit more help. I mean, that's almost been a theme for the last couple of years. She's, in terms of the statistics for her team, she's one out there and followed then by Lucas Rod Phillips and Vesley with St Kilda. So they're probably sharing the load a little bit more there, which we probably didn't think that was going to happen for St Kilda as well. They're sharing the load, whereas Mon's probably having to do a little bit more of the work. So I would say the midfield coach at Richmond will be putting a little bit more heat on their midfield, try and get the ball in and get it in nice and quick.
Coaching move maybe of the night so far, we can say, of quarter one. One of the equal leading possession winners on the ground for St Kilda, Tilly Lucas-Rod, playing in the midfield. She's been a defender her whole career. Really good engine, tough as nails, and she's leading St Kilda's possession count. So maybe we'll give Vesley the bit of space she needs.
Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins, your experts on Grandstand AFLW. Saints by a point as we go into the second term. Poppy Kelly has a decisive tap for the Tigers to Conti, who kicks Richmond inside the forward 50 to the left forward pocket. Bouncing ball is over the head of Reed and Brennan. It tumbles out in front of St Paul's Church at the bay end here at Frankston Oval. Sun getting lower in the sky out toward the west behind the Brian Mace grandstand. Beautiful night for football now at St Kilda. If you had have said it 45 minutes ago, maybe not quite so. Ball thrown back into play. Reid goes after it again for the Tigers at ground level. She's been impressive early, lays the tackle, not coming out. Ball up inside forward 50 for Richmond.
So Kelly still battling against Watt. A nice tap down. Starr lays the tackle. I think it's Van Dyke. No, it is Ott at the bottom of that pack. And we'll do it all again. Still inside. Richmond's attacking 50-40 from goal. As Kelly wins the tap again. It's fisted out of there by White, but it falls to the way of Conti. She goes one way, then the other, showing off that famous agility. Handballs to Levy, now back to Conti. She crosses forward 50. Handballs to Hosking, had a fumble, now a rush kick towards the pocket and filling the hole. It's Jade Van Dyke for St Kilda, left back pocket.
Former Carlton teammates Hosking and Van Dyke. Van Dyke's kick across the face of goal, cut off. Wakefield intercepts inside forward 50 for Richmond. And she will go back from 40 out directly in front and try and put the Tigers in front for the first time tonight.
That's where we saw they're trying to use that shape to get out of the back line. Unfortunately, just a bit uncharacteristic there by Jade Van Dyke in terms of her disposal efficiency. But, they read that really, really well and it's going to have a nice shot and goal. 10 goals, 6 from her 9 games last year. Courtney Wakefield strikes it on the right boot and strikes it well. It just has the carry. And 2 minutes into the second term, she gives Richmond their first lead of the evening. 3 straight 18, the Tigers. St Kilda 2-1-13 on Grandstand AFLW.
Well, that opportunity there happened because of the work rate, I'm going to say, of Monique Conti. We spoke about her before needing a bit of protection. The good thing was Mon wasn't at that stoppage early and she was actually on the outside. They were able to get the football out to her, but it was through 2 or 3 efforts from Mon that allowed the football to come back in, and then Wakefield was able to drift over and take that mark. Reads the footy so well, Wakefield. Gee, she's a lovely footballer and a great finish. Lovely set of hands. Terrific to watch.
So just pausing momentarily, the television broadcast in the middle of the ground as the players get set, and the umpire now trots in and throws the ball aloft as Kelly and Cutting do battle. Bran Catazano wrapped around by Cutting, gets the hands free. And now coming in is Levy for the Tigers. Fumbles once, fumbles twice, now picks it up, evades a tackler. Handball had too much on it for Bran Catazano. She's wrapped up again by Cutting now. Dylan goes in for the Saints, tumbles a kick out of the danger zone. We're still inside the centre square. Is coming through. Darcy collects with the one hand. She's run into some trouble, forced to go on the left. Kicks inside the centre. Phillips comes through for the Saints, couldn't collect. Now Ott backwards to Van Dyke. Her hurry kick falls into the lap of Cutting, who takes the mark, still inside the centre square.
Had a little record scratch for the one-handed pickup from Sarah Darcy. Wasn't that something at half-back? Attacking the ball, scooping it up in the right hand.
I think she probably surprised herself maybe as well.
Oh, I actually got this.
I think you should get a double stat for that.
Yeah, Cutting to Guttridge. Guttridge's kick forward for the Saints is marked by Harriet Cordner. At halfback for Richmond, a member of the All-Australian squad last year after crossing from Melbourne. She pounds it down the line. Kelly the target. Oh, strong mark. Pulls it in. 2 hands outstretched above her head. Good grab. Just shy of the wing on the broadcast side for Richmond.
She's got Conti on her inside. She shovels it to her as Conti goes for a run. Then long kick towards half forward. Staying down was Wakefield. It falls out the back. Brennan can run onto this. She does. Does a bit of a U-turn. Then on the left into the corridor. It's dropped by Levy, I think it is. Now there's a scrap. Spills out to Hosking. She picks it up. Handballs out to her sister Jess. Now the kick inside 50. Spoiled away by Ott. Coming in is Vott now for St Kilda. There's still a fight as Birchall goes in. Is wrapped up by Vott, and we've got a free kick. Umpire's plucked out a free kick going to Birchall. Not sure if you guys saw what that one was for, but Birchall's got the free kick. She's 40 out from goal.
Probably a little bit too far for Birchall's leg, although she'll probably smash me now as a commentator, but it does feel a little bit too long for her. So you want the tools nice and deep on the line. Katie Brennan, we can see that she's down there.
So Birchall's yet to kick a goal in her AFL career as well. We've already had 2 players kick their first goal in AFLW footy as Birchall lets go. It's got to fall just short. It's still inside the field of play. Reid, the debutant, she's beset upon and will have a stoppage inside the goal square.
So deep at the Beach Road end, Richmond deep in attack. Slapped out of ruck by Wakefield for the Tigers. Conti came charging through. Brennan's thrown into the ground without the footy. Picked up by Stahl. Handball straight to Dillon of the Saints. She's quickly tackled by Reid. But they're going to get out of trouble here. Alice Burke slams it outside the defensive 50. Only momentarily it's been marked by Seymour at left half forward for the Tigers. Stabs the pass inside 50. Hits Brennan on the chest. Textbook from Richmond. Brennan's got it 40 out, slight angle, left of centre.
This is definitely in Katie Brennan's range.
Absolutely. I was going to say earlier, is there a more beautiful stat or more beautiful skill than a beautiful one-handed pickup that we saw before? But maybe a spearing pass like that on the chest of your key forward, maybe that might do it.
I am a big fan of a good kick.
Katie Brennan starts 1 foot in front of the other on the numbers of the 50. Spins the ball in her hands, lets it go for the Tigers. It falls short. It's a really good mark on the goal line by Lucy Burke, who stands up strong in the pack and takes it on the very last line for the Saints.
Oh, kick goes in the Vesely direction. She gathers it on the half volley. Now she's under pressure. Little scrubby kick outside defensive 50, picked up by Jess Matten. She's wrapped up by Sarah Hosking, and we've got a ball up 50 metres out from goal. Let's head down to Lauren on the boundary.
Yeah, we just saw a fantastic passage of play there to hit Brennan straight smack bang on the chest, and she took a great mark. Despite all that rain before the game, the ground has really dried up here at Frankston Park. Really good drainage, so we shouldn't have too many problems with skills from here on in.
No clear winner from that stoppage, so we'll do it all again. Ball up, 50 metres out from goal, right half forward for Richmond.
We can see all the way over the bay from the Frankston Footy Club here, and it looks like it has really cleared up from the stoppage. Conti for Richmond, handball forward, strong tackle is laid by Sarah Hosking, and she'll earn a free kick for the Tigers. 52 metres out at right half forward. Wrapped up Priest, brought her to ground.
Conti, 13 possessions. The nearest person to her on the ground, Tessa Levy, 9.
It was Woodward, in fact, the tacklee, as the tackler in Hosking sends it to full forward. Stahl off hands, takes it, snaps it, and goals! Taylor Stahl, composed finish, turned 27 yesterday and gets a late birthday present and puts Richmond 11 points to the good. 4 straight 20 for the Tigers. St Kilda 2-1-13. The Saints are yet to score so far in this second term.
Have Richmond been doing work on reading off the pack in the forward 50 and snapping goals? Because they have been phenomenal at that tonight. That was a brilliant snap off the pack. Stahl just knows where the goals are in terms of when played against her at VFLW level, came in fresh, she just knew where they were, freakish in her ability, and just was able just to throw that ball on the boot, and it was really, really well executed. 3 of their 4 now from that exact situation.
They're very quick, and they're very quick at moving, and so different from last year where they were flat-footed. Really great to see that they've really stepped up. There's a bit of belief in this Tigers unit.
So 2 goals in this second term to Richmond as we're back in the middle. White roves the tap and she's stripped of it. Now Levy goes in for the Tigers. Bran Catazano handballs backwards to Seymour. Now onto Levy. Goes for a run from centre half forward. Long kick inside 50. Bernardi traps it on the half volley. Her kick smothered. She goes again. Wrapped up by Burke. Handballs to Levy. She goes in once. Now twice. Ball still in dispute. Priest now just soccers it to advantage. Tracks it towards the boundary line, and she's tackled heavily, and the umpire's found a free kick. It is going St Kilda's way to Hannah Priest, who's quick to play on, kick across goal, and finds Phillips.
So Phillips is off for a gallop inside the defensive 50, kicks to a vacant grandstand side. A bouncing ball will sit up for Sarah Darcy of the Tigers, tackled as she kicked. Scrubs up toward Phillips from whence she got it. Now to White at half-back for St Kilda. Tumbles one down the line. Mark taken by Matten on the AFL logo. Centre of the ground. Flares it to half forward in front of McCarthy. Strong bump from Cordner. Released the footy for Richmond, and now a free kick as Birchall takes it off half-back. Nowhere to go. Caught, gone. Tilly Lucas-Rod had her run straight into her lap and earns a free kick at half-forward for St Kilda.
Well, that's the value of having Tilly Lucas-Rod further up the ground, that she can just stop the footy, intercept, and now they're about to go inside 50.
So Lucas Rod chips it to Shannon. 55 from goal. Greiser from the back. Front spot though. Sarah Darcy has been given the mark. Saves the day again. Kicks across the face of goal to the left back pocket and finds Miller in a bit of space. So Miller, left back pocket for Richmond. She gets around the player on the mark in Guttridge and then kicks Richmond towards left half back. Nice mark by Wakefield, who's marked just inside the boundary line.
Geez, Miller's so agile for a tall player, isn't she? She's quality.
Here she is again, Shiloh, ran into Tani White there, got the handball away. Not quickly enough, said the umpire. Free kick to the Saints in line with the front edge of the centre square. White chips forward and finds Vesely. The two players in blue boots in Saints colours combined. Vesely pokes it forward, looking for Shannon, found the wrong number 11. Jess Hosking for Richmond outside the defensive 50, tumbles it back to Tani White. We'll have a go again in line with the front edge of the centre square at right half forward for St Kilda, who trail by 11 points at the 11-minute mark of the second term.
So White chips it to Lucas Rod. She's 2 kicks from goal. As Rod again goes in the Greiser direction, has another fly. Again, can't come down with a mark. It's still in dispute. And going in hard there was Guttridge. Now to Greiser. She's coughed it up though, and that is holding the ball. Free kick going to Richmond. And the recipient's going to be Cordner. So Cordner inside defensive 50 for the Tigers, who lead this contest by 11 points. Kicks Richmond towards left half back. Pack flies and Leah Cutting, the debutant for St Kilda, takes a nice mark in congestion and she can send St Kilda back into attack.
The Adelaide product from Norwood, AFLW Team of the Year member. In St Kilda colours tonight, goes inside 50, finds Greiser finally. Greiser's had so many chances, just hasn't been able to capitalise. And now she can go back and kick from just inside the 50, well within her wheelhouse.
Well, I think there are a few sore Tiger backs out there because Greiser has put the knee into about 4 of them in the last 4 efforts.
It takes a bit of bravery to stand right in front of a leading lane of a Caitlin Greiser, and we saw Jess Hosking do that just before.
10 goals in season 1 for Caitlin Greiser, 9 goals 6 last year. From just inside the 50, kick is low, it won't have the carry. It's fisted toward the line by Miller. Guttridge took it off hands and ran it across for, would have been a try in another football code. And it's a minus score here. So the Saints 2-2-14, Richmond 4 straight 24, 13 gone second term on Grandstand AFLW.
So Miller to bring the ball back in for the Tigers. Assessing her options. Kicks long to right half forward. Darcy will have a go at this. Gets hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Birchall picks it up. Handballs backwards to Darcy. Close to the boundary line. She's run out of space. Tackled by White. That is holding the ball, and Tani White can send St Kilda back into attack again. She handballs to Lucas Rod. Low spearing pass inside 50. Chopped off by Jess Hosking. And she will relieve the pressure for Richmond.
Tigers by 10 points, the only 2 goals of this second term. And she is going to relieve the pressure. That is the weakness in Jess Hosking's game. She's turned it over by foot. Again, she's kicked it straight back to Tani White. And White has got it again in line with the centre square. She keeps getting the ball at the same distance out. Kicks it inside the 50 for the Saints through the hands of Beth Lynch. Handball given up to Lucas Rod. Saints in possession. Greiser has a go. She can't take it with her. Dillon tries to spin through a tackle. Got it to Lucas Rod. Kicks to the pocket for St Kilda. Miller fists it away from Guttridge. And we will have a throw in. Deep forward. Saints into attack. Kick to the Young Street end here at Frankston. They trail by 10 points. 14 minutes gone in the second term.
Dillon and to Lucas Rod, nice little combo there. They're looking for each other all game.
So a chance for the Saints here inside attack as Greiser palms it to Dillon. She is pushed in the back and she will get a free kick. And Rosie Dillon can line up for a second goal of the afternoon. She's about 35 metres out. Slight angle to the left. And after not kicking a goal in her AFLW career and bagging her first and the second, she's now got a chance to make it a double.
Well, very clever there by Rosie. She knew the contact was behind her and she had all the momentum moving forward. And as she was tackled, she just fell forward, drew the free kick. Now she's got a shot on goal.
So Richmond has scored the only 2 goals in the second term. This to bring it back to 4 points. Looks good off the boot. Dillon doesn't have the curry. Touched on the line for a minor score. St Kilda 2-3-15. Richmond 4 straight 24. And we've played 15 minutes in this second term.
A little bit of wind there. Held the footy up. She had nice purchase on the footy, but kicking to the non-beach end. I don't know what we call that, the Frankston end, Joel?
The Young Street ends.
There you go. It does get held up a little bit.
Dempsey marked it in the pocket, kicked outside the defensive 50 for Richmond, but it'll come back in for the Saints. Jade Van Dyke loads up on the right boot, sends it inside the 50, over the head of Greiser, spills out the back. White's there for St Kilda, runs onto it, tackled by Consi, who lays another strong tackle. Picked up inside forward 50 for the Saints by Vesely. High up and under kick toward the goal square is marked by Miller. And she's got it on the last line of defence for Richmond, who lead by 9 points. Dangerous kick. Matten got in there to run interference for the Saints. Kicked it straight back to Miller, who'll have another go from full-back for the Tigers.
But that's the smarts of Matten then. She knew she had an opponent. She just little dob kick on her boot, tried to get it to her teammate. So smart.
So St Kilda are pressing, but Richmond are holding up well in defence as Miller kicks them towards half-back. A pack forms, and now the ball's in dispute on the 50-metre line. Going in there, Vesely. She handles into space. Hosking first to meet it. She's tackled high. Or caught high, and she will take the free kick. So, Jess Hosking making her club debut this afternoon, joining her sister Sarah at Tigerland. Both of the sisters are wearing bright pink boots, we might add. It's very hard to distinguish both of them. I feel like
twins.
we're doing okay. Oh no, Hosking. She's kicked it straight into Jess Matten, who is standing the mark. And now there's a free kick. Shannon caught Cordner, and she will line up for a shot on goal. Fantastic pressure by the Saints forwards, and now they have an opportunity to kick their first goal in the second quarter.
Absolutely. St Kilda's pressure has gone up twofold. Absolutely. In this last 10 minutes, the ball has been stuck down this end, St Kilda's end, all by pressure.
So the siren has sounded to mark half-time as Isabella Shannon comes in from 35 metres. Got to go right to the line. And it has been rushed, and I think the score will count. It ricocheted off a few pair of hands, and now the umpires are going to have a conference. The question is, was the ball dead before it went over the line, or will it be touched off hands and go through for a point? And the umpires have called no score, so that shot from Isabella Shannon did not register a score. So at halftime, it's Richmond 4 straight 24 leads St Kilda 2-3-15. The goal scorers for Richmond, all singles: Christina Bernardi, Courtney Wakefield, Taylor Starr and Megan Kelly. And for St Kilda, one each to Rosie Dillon and Tani White.
So, case of almost at the end for the Saints. They probably had the last 7 or 8 minutes of the ascendancy and just couldn't hit the scoreboard. Richmond kicking 2 goals straight in that term to match their opening quarter outfit. St Kilda adding 2 behinds to trail by 9 points at halftime here at Frankston Oval. 4 straight 24 Richmond. St Kilda 2-3-15. Grandstand AFLW 0467920222. If you want to get involved in the broadcast this evening, love to know where you're listening from, and leave your name and where you are right around the country if you're listening on ABC Sport Digital, or in Victoria, South Australia, the Northern Territory and Tasmania if you're listening on ABC Radio. Joel Peterson and Jess Webster with you. Lauren Borden's on the boundary, and for their thoughts on the first half here at Frankston that sees Richmond leading by 9 points, our experts are Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins.
Well, Hutch, I think the ground, Frankston, I think is serving a purpose for St Kilda. It's absolutely, they've got a home ground advantage here. We talked a little bit in the opener about the outs of the midfield for St Kilda, but their mids in, and I love the move of Tilly Lucas-Rod to the midfield, but Tilly Lucas-Rod pairing up with the insider in Rosie Dillon, Liv Vesely, who's back in the team. She's been really serviceable tonight. I think the lack of space is really benefiting them and really sort of shutting down or narrowing the outside run that we know that Richmond has. You talked earlier about Monique Conti. She needs to get on the outside, or she needs some protection on the inside. And so while she's still travelling at 13 touches, Richmond hasn't been able to get the ball on the outside and have been really cramped up. So I do think St Kilda's got a home ground advantage tonight.
Whoops, my button was off there. Sorry, team. So I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think we saw, it is a bit of a cliche when we say it was a game of two halves. I think Richmond, they did get a lot more of the football in that first half of that quarter, but probably didn't get it in deep enough or probably efficiently enough. Now, what I'm also seeing now is that when the ball goes in to St Kilda's forward line, Caitlin Greiser is going up against 4 defenders, and that leaves 3 other people on the ground, 3 other St Kilda players on the ground unattended to. So I think if I was a Richmond coach or on the coaching staff, I'd just be a little bit mindful of that. They are getting their hands on the football, and then that's creating a little bit of panic, I feel. So Richmond feel a little bit panicky there with the ball in the back line, and they're just throwing it on the boot to try and get it out, whereas St Kilda, we did see they're using shape to get it out. They understand the ground. They're probably having a little bit more patience with it. We did see Tani White a little bit earlier, motion to her team, calm down, just settle the ball. Let's just work slowly and get the ball in there. So I think Richmond just need to have a little bit more composure, a little bit more steadiness with the ball, coming out of the back line and shape it out a little bit more.
Yeah, agree. And the pressure from St Kilda has netted them some really good repeated inside 50 entries. They're probably a little bit unlucky to be behind on the scoreboard, 2-3 to 4 straight. So, scoring shots pretty comparable, but coming into the quarter time break, inside 50s were +3 in favour of Richmond, 10-7. Now at half time, it's 16-15 in favour of St Kilda. St Kilda had a 9-5 inside 50 count against the wind, and we saw the wind hold up some of those set shots on goal. So very purposeful. They've got a lead-up key forward, as we spoke about with Greiser, very intentional about how they deliver the football inside 50. We spoke quite a lot during that quarter that when Richmond go forward, have shots on goal, a lot of it comes out of quick ball movement. It's a stoppage work. It's a quick play on off a kick. It's offhand. So they're very responsive to the open play. But for St Kilda, how they're bringing the footy inside is much more intentional, and probably a little bit of a surprise for us if we talked about Sheila being out of the team. Maybe they were one tall down, but the narrowness of the ground and how short it is maybe plays into their favour. And I was thinking earlier, where do you put a second tall in a Kate Sheila tonight? And even if you look at Katie Brennan, she's been thereabouts, but she hasn't had a lot of space to go and roam and be on a long lead because there's just no room here at Frankston for that. So I think St Kilda are playing a really smart game. They're playing the ground really well. I don't think Richmond is.
Yeah, and look, I'll put my hand up. I didn't think that St Kilda's midfield were going to be able to handle the heat tonight in terms of the outs that they did have. But, home ground advantage is very, very helpful. And they've got a fantastic ground here at Frankston. I think also, give credit. I do want to speak about some of the great players, the good players that are doing some good things for Richmond, because it's not all bad. They're leading on the scoreboard here. So Sarah Darcy cutting across half back line. She's reading the ball really, really well. Some fancy one-handed pickups, but she's finding some space and reading the ball really, really well. When Katie Brennan had that set shot, I did want to bring it up at the time, but she did it off 2 steps, and usually that's not a Katie Brennan thing. And I was a bit caught off guard there in terms of, I thought she had the distance on that one. So it was only off 2 steps, wondering what there is to that one as well. So keep an eye on Katie Brennan if she gets another set shot there.
Thoughts of Meg Hutchins and Shiloh Curtis at halftime here at Frankston Oval. Richmond by 9 points, 4 straight 24 to St Kilda 2-3-15. A few texts coming in on 0467 920 222. Morgan in Creswick says, "Hey everyone, loving listening in, doing a great job. Shout out to everyone in Creswick recovering from flash floods." Yes, some wild weather in that part of the world near Ballarat over the last couple of days. So if you're doing it tough in that circumstance, our thoughts certainly with you. Kate from Sunbury says, "Loving the commentary team, up and about. Thanks. Good on you, Kate." And Justin from Belrive says, "Good evening, great call. Welcome back, AFLW." Agree with that. He's heading up the east coast of Tasmania to Coles Bay for a fishing trip with my daughter Annie, hopefully to catch her first squid and kingfish. Wouldn't mind some kingfish on the way back, Justin, just quietly. That's very nice work. So good luck, Annie. Hopefully you can You can have a bit of luck tomorrow when you do wet a line. 0467 920 222 is the number to get in touch with us here on Grandstand AFLW. It's half-time here at Frankston. It's Richmond by 9 points in the season opener for 2022. 4 straight to 2-3-15. Ball analysis and all the second half action coming up after the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News, I'm Clive Hunton. A national task force is urging Australians not to stockpile food as widespread staff shortages see some supermarket shelves left empty. The number of COVID-positive cases and close contacts isolating have hampered supply lines for major supermarkets. The head of Emergency Management Australia, Joe Buffon, says a new system's being set up to get staff back to work quickly, but in the meantime, he's asking people not to hoard or panic buy food.
Every Australian has to be part of this solution. What we're asking is that you actually don't go out and buy unnecessary amounts of a whole range of different products and hoard. What we're asking is that you buy what you need.
Meanwhile, the Australian Council of Trade Unions says many workers are facing pressure to come into work even if they're sick. ACTU Assistant Secretary Liam O'Brien says workers are struggling to get hold of tests.
What we are seeing is businesses under real pressure just to keep operating hours open. And that's leading to pressure being placed back on workers who are either on leave or indeed some who might be unwell or indeed subject to isolation, reporting that they are being pressured to attend work.
Just a week out from Tamworth's iconic country music festival, the event's been postponed until April. The announcement came after the New South Wales government banned singing and dancing at venues and said major events would need to undergo a risk assessment to go ahead. Tamworth Mayor Russell Webb says the changes, just a week out from the 50th event, left organisers with little choice.
There was so much uncertainty around what we would have to do as an organisation and what some of our venue operators would have to do to comply with the law, to comply with the health orders and carry this festival through in a safe way.
Queensland's Premier has urged the elderly, pregnant and the vulnerable to limit outside movements over the next 6 weeks. The state has officially recorded nearly 11,000 new COVID cases. Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk says those who can work from home should, and masks in public settings should be worn.
That's not a big ask when you've seen other countries around the world that have endured, up to a year of lockdown. We're just asking our elderly, people who are pregnant, the most vulnerable in our community, to think about very clearly over the next 6 weeks, basically not going out, limiting your movements.
And Queensland's Chief Health Officer, Dr John Gerard, says by the end of the month there'll be a significant increase in COVID-19 patients in the state's hospitals.
We will have much bigger numbers of critical care patients at the peak of this wave, but there's a clear shift from the very severe to the medium severe.
Elsewhere, the Northern Territory has recorded 412 new COVID cases. That's the Territory's highest daily total to date. Territory Health Minister Natasha File says a large majority of the new cases are in Darwin, but COVID is now in all regions of the Territory.
Pleasingly, we've had no more cases from Yalara, and in Alice Springs we've got 22 cases that we've reported in this period of time. Tennant Creek has got 1 additional case. Catherine, we're still working through our figures.
Dancing will be banned and patrons must be seated while eating and drinking in the ACT from midday tomorrow. Canberra's nightclubs can stay open and operate as bars within the existing density limits. Some elective surgeries will also end at Calvary Public Hospital for up to 8 weeks. Health authorities say the move allows health staff to be redeployed to respond to the COVID outbreak. There are no planned changes to elective surgeries at Canberra Hospital or the ACT's private hospitals. Clashes between protesters and security forces have continued into the night in Kazakhstan's main city, Almaty, even as Russia has sent in troops to help crush anti-government unrest. Internet services are blocked, cash machines aren't working, many shops are closed. The BBC's Abdul Jalil Abdurasov is in Almaty. As night fell, he sent this report.
I can hear sounds of explosions, stun grenades, and even what I think is the sound of gunshots. It's very hard to say who is shooting at who. It's dark now and I can't get close to the scene where it's happening. But earlier today, some protesters gathered on the main square. They had posters saying that they're not terrorists, as authorities are trying to portray them. Then I saw several armed personnel carriers moving towards the square, and shortly after that, a real battle started there with shooting and explosions.
And that's ABC News.
ABC, your trusted source of accurate and timely emergency information.
We had the ABC on basically all afternoon listening.
There's so much going on, and getting news is a priority.
Well, I'm a fan of the ABC.
It must be love, love, love.
I listen to the ABC every day. I'm extremely grateful.
ABC Radio, reliable source for information.
On radio, on the ABC Listen app, and the ABC Emergency website.
It must be love, love, love.
ABC, stay connected.
AFLW on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Well, the Carlton teammates Hosking and Van Dyke. Van Dyke's kick across the face of goal cut off. Wakefield intercepts inside forward 50 for Richmond. And she will go back from 40 out directly in front and try and put the Tigers in front for the first time tonight. Courtney Wakefield strikes it on the right boot and strikes it well. It just has the carry. Woodward, in fact, the tacklee is the tackler in Hosking, sends it to full forward. Stahl off hands, takes it, snaps it, and goals. Taylor Stahl, composed finish.
The AFLW on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Half-time here at a sun-drenched Frankston Oval. We had storms earlier, lightning over Port Phillip, our vista over the bay from the Frankston Football Club club rooms. And now the sun's setting here at Frankston, and we're getting set for the second half of this season opener in AFLW Season 6. That's Richmond 4 straight 24 to St Kilda 2-3-15 on Grandstand AFLW. Great to have your company on ABC Radio through Victoria, South Australia, the top end, and in Tasmania, ABC Sport Digital right around the country, and wherever you are via the AFLW app, which you can find select games on throughout the season via the listen button and the ABC worm. 0467 920 222 is the text number, 0467 920 222, if you want to get in touch with us at any point this evening. About a minute until the resumption of play. St Kilda are out at the beach end of the ground, and Richmond running out from their club rooms in the Brian Mace grandstand here at Frankston. Also in the cricket today, where a lot of our audience will have been on ABC Radio before coming to us here at Frankston. England 7 for 258. Johnny Bairstow, the star of the show, 103 runs off 140 deliveries. The first century of this Ashes series for England. A determined effort from Ben Stokes. Made 66 off 91 before he was LBW to Nathan Lyon. Joss Butler, a duck off 8 balls. Mark Wood, 39 off 41. Jack Leach, the not-out batsman, along with Bairstow, 4 off 15. So England to resume tomorrow at 7 for 258. And, of course, you can find all our coverage of the Ashes via ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and via the ABC Listen app is the best place to get the coverage of the cricket right throughout the summer. Of course, the men's Ashes, the women's Ashes has been brought forward. That's in a couple of weeks. Plenty of cricket and sport to come across the summer here on Grandstand. Sides getting ready for a start for the second half. Sun getting lower in the sky. The shadow almost enveloping the ground here at Frankston Oval. It's turned into a beautiful night for football. Shiloh, Curtis and Meg Hutchins. I think we see more of the same, this attacking style from both sides in the second half, Shiloh.
Yeah, look, from St Kilda, I keep shutting down the space. Richmond are an outside team. They like to run. They've got beautiful jets in players like Conti. Katie Brennan likes to have a bit of space. So if I'm St Kilda, I'm shutting down that outside running space, and I'm continuing to be intentional about how I move the football inside. Keep putting pressure on the kick going inside Richmond's 50, so they don't have a lot of open space to play. It's working for them at the moment. So Richmond, I think they're fitter and I think they're a bit faster. but can they get the space to capitalise on that? I'm not sure.
So what I've just seen is Katie Brennan is starting the game on the ball, so that might be a little bit of a change to get a little bit of contested ball win.
Second half underway on Grandstand AFLW. Here's Jess Webster.
Conti rose the tap, but she's immediately tackled by Vesely, and we're going to do it all again. We've inched a few metres closer towards...
Did we not have a siren then, Jess? I reckon that was just a whistle from the umpire.
I wasn't really paying attention, so good pick up by you. It's from the stoppage. St Kilda emerged with it. Phillips now with the kick. Goes to McCarthy direction, but chopping it off is Levy. She's marked inside the centre square. Broadcast side of the ground. She kicks up towards half forward. It's going to be a lasso free kick. She went in the read direction. Kick had too much on it. In taking the free kick for St Kilda is Jacobson. Sends it back to the wing position. All Richmond, and Hosking takes the mark. True centre wing position, broadcast side.
Jess Hosking chips over the top to Levy, the Olympian. What did you do in your off-season? I went to Tokyo and played for the Opals. OK, Tessa, I didn't do a lot. She bangs it inside the 50 for the Tigers. Up high is Watt, can't drag it in. At her feet is Ott. Where's Jackie Vott? Nowhere to be seen. Watt bangs it outside the defensive 50 for St Kilda. It's marked by Poppy Kelly, the former Saint, in her first game in the yellow and black. She reloads back inside the 50 and kicks it straight down the throat of the opposition ruck. Watt's got it again in defence for the Saints.
So switches play to left half back. It's a dangerous kick in the Phillips direction. She's got two Tigers to beat. She goes again, paddles it to her advantage. And now picking it up is Ott. A dinky little kick down the boundary line. And it's actually off the boot of Keeley. And it's going to be... Yes, it is a lasso free kick. It is going to St Kilda, and picking it up is Solitis. She's got the ball at left half back for St Kilda. Called to play on now, so just chips it forward, but it's intercepted by Brennan, who's marked 75 from goal. Wants to play on quickly. Goes in the pocket in the Bernardi direction, but again filling the hole, the ever-reliable St Kilda defender and captain Hannah Priest.
She's a good player, Hannah Priest, absolute star, goes across the defensive 50 to her former co-captain in Kat Phillips, bounces out in front of her. Priest running the ship solo this year. Changed the model from 4 co-captains to Hannah Priest, who's leading the line for the Saints.
Well, she read that beautifully, just ran back with the fly to the football. Lots of courage, really took it with composure.
Ball will be tossed back inside forward 50 for Richmond at the Young Street end here in Frankston, and Phillips wasn't the designated ruck there, and the ball fell short. She slapped it. You're not allowed to do that. Good awareness from Katie Brennan to leave it alone too. So Kelly will take the free kick. Brennan wanted it. Kelly's 53 metres out, chips it to full forward for the Tigers. Saints with numbers everywhere, off the hands of Watt. Bernardi at ground level for Richmond, gave it to Reid, tackled by Van Dyke, brought to ground. All up left forward pocket. Richmond into attack through 3 minutes, no change to the halftime score. Tigers by 9.
So Watt and Bernardi contest the tap. Ball ricochets to Reid, the debutant on the left. What a goal by Stella Reid on debut. Just threw it on the left boot. Fantastic goal sense has sailed through as she gets her first goal in AFLW footy.
Am I a correct record, or is that another really quick kick off the boot in the forward line for another goal? I think that's 4 goals now Richmond have got in that scenario. They clearly have done some work on that. You know, you don't get many chances in front of goals. When you do, make the most of it. So that was a fantastic, and that just sailed through beautifully, curved around off the left. Wonderful, and what a good goal to be your very first goal.
It is Richmond's 5th, 5 straight 30. They lead St Kilda 2-3-15. 3.5 minutes gone in the third term. Shiloh Curtis, what a goal.
Was fantastic and came off a skill error and a turnover from St Kilda. So they've done all the right work, put the numbers of the contest, were able to try and slow the footy up. But yeah, beautiful work by Stella Reid. Fantastic goal.
First game, first goal. Wouldn't read about it. Stella's on the board from the centre. Monconti bursts away, just got the kick away as she was tackled by White. Bounces to the pocket. Stahl is there, collects, turns into the tackle from Priest. Didn't have it. Oh, in fact, she was adjudged to have dropped it as she was tackled over the boundary line. And a free kick to the Saints skipper at fullback.
I like that from Richmond. Quick, long and direct. Try and get ahead of the congestion and really run the ball into open space.
Richmond by 15. 4.5 gone. Third term on Grandstand AFLW. Priest tries to exit the defensive 50 for the Saints. Eventually does as it's socket forward by White for St Kilda. Dragged down in the tackle was Woodward, turned over. Brent Catazano for the Tigers. Her handball slips free, doesn't go very far, and it's coming back the other way. It'll be a free kick across half back to White for the Saints.
Oh, dangerous kick in the centre ground by White, but Van Dyke was good enough to get there in the end and take the mark. As Birchall applied the pressure as Van Dyke kicks St Kilda to the wing. It's off hands. Solitis now picks it up. Handballs to Shannon. She gets through one tackle. Passes to Woodward. Then to Dylan. Off to Lucas Rod. She's bumped after she kicked it. Play on, says the umpire. Ball trickles inside the pocket. Greiser picks it up. She's stripped of it. Now Monconti goes in. Gives it to Woodward. Her handball to Hosking. She's coughed it up. Now it's Woodward, who kicks it towards the hot spot. Still a chance for St Kilda. Bott's kick is smothered. Miller goes in. Ricochets to Conti in a phone box against the boundary line. A little 1-2 with Birchall. Now handballs over the top to Keeley. She's under pressure with the kick. Sends it outside defensive 50. But taking the intercept mark is Jacobson for St Kilda. Wants to kick it inside 50. No one there, though, for the Saints. Not sure who she was trying to kick it to, and Dempsey takes the mark for Richmond.
Every game last year for the Tigers, Kate Dempsey nurses the kick outside the defensive 50. Her former VFLW Tiger teammate in Stahl kicks down the line, looking for Bran Catazano. Slipped through the hands of White as well. Out in front of the grandstand on the grandstand side. Yasir had a go. Her handball turned over to Phillips of the Saints. Now to Beck Ott, who slams it on the boot toward half forward. Skittles the pack, bounces off the head of Birchall. It's taken by Conti at half back for Richmond. Runs the arc. Handball to Jess Hosking. She flares it out and says, Katie Brennan, go and chase that. Brennan's in space at half forward. Has a teammate in Miller running over the top. Turns and kicks a high ball to the top of the arc. Alice Burke was there, so too Woodward. Handball to Phillips. The Saints can rebound again.
Her kick slides off the boot. Miller collects for Richmond. Dodges one beautifully. Then kicks Richmond into attack. The kick is not a good one, though. Bounces inside 50, but then over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in.
Not a bad
40 metres out from goal. Let's head down to Lauren on the boundary.
Yeah, not sure if Olivia Vesely is just wrapped to be back on the park at the moment, but her teammate's having a hard time getting her off the field for rotations. She has come off and she's just got a bit of work on that calf now, and she's just getting set to come back on again now.
Happiest player in the AFLW, Liv Vesely.
Ball tossed back in. Seymour took it unopposed in ruck for Richmond. Kicks to full forward. Brennan had it knocked away by Watt at the last moment. Spills 25 out from the Tigers' goal. At the Young Street end of the ground, we'll have a ball up. 5 straight, the Tigers. 2-3-15, St Kilda. 7.5 gone, third term on Grandstand AFLW. Joel Peterson, Jess Webster, Shiloh Curtis, Mick Hutchins and Lauren Gordon, your broadcast team from Frankston this evening. In the ruck contest, Brennan had the legs taken out. Free kick going the way of the Tigers. Watt slid in. Brennan came over the top, was taken below the knees. And Katie Brennan, the Richmond captain, will take her free kick, 15 out, 45-degree angle, right of centre.
Inside 50s for Richmond this quarter, 5-2 in favour of them. Much, much better defensive transition, and they're doing a lot better coping with the pressure around the ball.
The player with the ball in her hand has made a difference on them in the midfield. You know, it's really stretched the St Kilda midfield as well, and you know, she's getting a good reward here, having a shot on goal.
Spins the ball in her hands again, that one foot in front of the other, left foot in front of right as she begins a very slow approach. 14 goals on the season last year for Katie Brennan. Missed one in the second term. Doesn't miss there. The captain kicks a big goal for Richmond. Stretches their advantage to 21 points. 6 straight 36 to St Kilda, 2-3-15. We played 8 minutes in the third term on Grandstand AFLW.
Yeah, so as I said, Katie's heading back into the midfield again here. She's just had a real impact when she's gone in there, because she's a very, very, very good footballer, and you need to be mindful of her, which is probably releasing one a little bit more. You know, that first centre bounce, there was a clearance just by Mon, just came straight out the front door. So fantastic move there by the coaches, putting Katie Brennan on the ball, and she's playing a little bit more forward of centre as well.
She's just been moved out of the midfield, actually. She's gone back to centre half forward. Maybe she feels like she's done all the work there. She's gone forward for rotation. I agree, though. What it's really done is it's given her the space that she needs. Put her up on the wing, because that's where Katie needs. She needs space.
So the pressure is on St Kilda now. Richmond have kicked the last 5. Lucas Robb with the clearance for St Kilda. Kicks him towards half forward. There's a scrap at the back. Miller collects for Richmond. Handballs to Bran Catazano. She handballs into the path of Hosking, collects it off the ground. She's tackled by Guttridge, but given high. It would have been holding the ball if she didn't collect her high. Hosking gets out of jail.
Did all the work, Guttridge, then?
She's that left half back for Richmond. Kicks her team to the wing. Seymour got two hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Brennan picks up, handballs to Conti. Brennan was shoved out of it after she handballed the ball, and she gets a free kick right where the interchange gates are broadcast side.
Brennan, fifth touch, in fact.
Oh, smack bang on the wing. She darted her kick along the boundary line, and it was out of play. Courtney Wakefield almost went sliding into Lauren Borton on the boundary for us on Grandstand AFLW. Into the broadcast team this evening, Lauren, and almost into the action there.
She's packed her boots.
I never got that prime position when I was on the boundary, I might just say. Excellent work by Lauren.
It's like you know what you're doing.
Hey, what are conditions like down there now, Lauren? Is there a bit of breeze about?
No, it's still it is very quite still on the ground now. A little bit damp now the sun has gone down, but no wind at all, so good conditions still.
Plenty of action in front of you. Sarah Hosking makes a critical smother on the kick, and the ball will be tossed back in. Centre wing, broadcast side of the ground. Richmond by 21, 11 minutes gone in the third.
No winner from the taps, and the ball just pinballs around as Jacobson dives on it. She might be in a bit of trouble here, and she is. The umpire circles and calls holding the ball. Didn't make a good enough attempt to get rid of it. So Richmond take the free kick through Katie Brennan. She's right on the edge of the centre square. She's got Hosking running on her inside. She ignores her and kicks towards half forward. Wakefield in a good position. Raises the hands, takes a nice mark at centre half forward.
Such good hands, such good hands.
It's a crowded forward 50. So she dishes off to Shevlin inside corner instead, rather kicks Richmond to the pocket. But it's all St Kilda as the ball trickles out the back. Vesely, Bernardi tries to go off the ground. She was bumped by Vesely. The ball's still in dispute close to the boundary line. Vesely goes in now and plays tackler against Stahl. Is that holding the ball? It is. And St Kilda win the free kick. It is going to Leah Cutting, who is part of the gang tackle. And she has the ball left back pocket for St Kilda.
One of three Saints on debut this evening, Leah Cutting. Oh, goes across the goal. Wakefield again. Body contact from Jacobson. Strong through the air. Arms outstretched above her head. Intercepts another kick inside the defensive 50 for the Saints. And she'll have a shot from 30 out. Tight angle left of centre.
Richmond are reading that they're cutting off that switch of the ball now. They're not allowing, or they're tempting St Kilda to use shape, but they're giving them just enough distance to be able to cut it off. Really, really well done.
Breeze is almost straight back into Courtney Wakefield here. Already has one this evening. Right foot kick on the way. Doesn't look like missing. Richmond skipping away here in the season opener at Frankston. They've opened up a 27-point buffer over St Kilda with the last 6 goals of the game after the Saints opened with 2 of the first 3. 13 minutes gone in this third quarter. It's Richmond 7 straight 42, St Kilda 2-3-15. Your experts on Grandstand AFLW are Meg Hutchins and Shiloh Curtis.
Well, Meg, we spoke at half-time about could Richmond actually learn to play the ground? Could they learn to play without the space and try and work the footy on the outside? Well, I think they've now worked out you've actually just got to work hard on the inside. You know, it's not about getting the footy on the outside, it's do the work on the inside, and that's what we're seeing. There's been a few change-ups. Katie Brennan back in the midfield, going to open up that forward line again for Richmond.
Well, it's danger signs for St Kilda. Last 6 goals to Richmond. Conti roves the tap, but spills out to Hosking. Now dishes it off to Dempsey. Screws a kick around the corner, bouncing towards the outer wing. Conti first to meet it. Dodges one, but can't get through the second. She handballs out just in time. Van Dyke for St Kilda gives it to Lucas Robb. She's run out of real estate as well, and it will be a boundary throw in. Grandstand side of Frankston Oval as the sun sets over the back of the grandstand. Fantastic view from our position on the broadcast side as the umpires just having a bit of a conference here. Question of whether or not it's a lasso free kick or it was indeed touched, and it will be a boundary throw in.
Monique Conti's just hit 20 possessions for the game. Patrick Dangerfield at halftime tweeted, if Richmond win enough games, she will win the BNF this year. Big call from Patrick.
Man who knows a bit about winning medals. And I reckon Monconti's got a few more in her trophy cabinet to come. Handball from Sarah Hosking set Brennan a task. Ball knocked away from her by Van Dyke. Lucas Rod tackled fiercely again by Conti, who's had a real influence in this game. And not only winning the ball, Shiloh, but doing the tough stuff too. 5 tackles now for Monconti. Up it goes toward half forward for Richmond. Kelly and Cutting can't separate each other nor the ball. Tilly Lucas Rod smashes it forward for St Kilda, just in front of halfway in the centre square. Matten now dumps it inside the forward 50. Foot race is on. Miller's getting back there for the Tigers. Shows her speed. Handballs around the corner toward the boundary line. Umpire says deliberate. Free kick to the Saints in the left forward pocket at the beach end. Renee Solitis with a bit of divine intervention in front of St Paul's Church down there. She'll have a shot from tight on the boundary line.
Divine intervention, that was clearly deliberate out of bounds. Terrific work by Solitis.
You just don't often see them called, Shiloh. Solitis snaps around the corner and hits the inside of the right-hand goalpost. So St Kilda, after 16 of their 36 quarters last year, were goalless. A goalless through the last 2 here. They trail by 26 points. 16 minutes gone in the third term.
Their first score since the 15-minute mark of the second quarter as Hosking brings the ball out for Richmond and finds Dempsey just inside defensive 50 at right half back. So Dempsey will just bomb it long to the wing. Oh, Poppy Kelly over the back. Almost took a ripper contested mark. It's off hands. Spills to the front. Shevlin, her handball's intercepted now. Vesely for St Kilda just throws it on the boot inside 50. Slipped through the hands of Greiser. Now out the back. And the players dive on a... And McCarthy's on top. And we will have a ball up about 15 metres out directly in front of St Kilda's goal. A chance for them to add another goal to the board.
26-point lead to Richmond. Last 6 goals of the game. Greiser goes up in ruck. Lucas Rod there for the Saints. Tries to shovel it out. Conti at the back of the pack. Jackie Vott gives her a shove. Maybe in the back there from Lynch. Yes. Kate McCarthy will take the free kick for St Kilda inside the forward 50. Lynch just rode into her back.
Just the second disposal for McCarthy tonight. She's been very, very quiet.
Has struggled to find any real influence on the game out there in the long sleeves. The customary long sleeve garb for Kate McCarthy this evening. She'd have to kick this from right on 45. Almost no angle to contend with. She trots in, gives herself some room, sends it on its way. It just fades late. And it's another minor score for St Kilda. 2-5-17 the Saints. Richmond 7 straight 42. 18 gone third term on Grandstand AFLW. The season opener here at Frankston.
So Shevlin to bring it back in for the Tigers. She's turned it over though. Tiny White marks 55 metres out from St Kilda's goal at left half forward. Very crowded inside 50. She'll just have to pop it up to a dangerous position and she does just that. Greiser backs back. Well, Cordner had almost an uncontested mark at the end, but dropped it. Now Conti at ground level. She picks it up, handballs backwards to Shevlin and just hacks it out of there towards half back. It lands into the lap of Priest. St Kilda again will push 50 metres out from goal. Priest again goes to a dangerous position. Poppy Kelly had hands on it. Lucas Rod picks it up. Her kick is smothered. It ricochets towards the pocket, and that is the 3/4 time siren. Time run out for St Kilda. And it is all Richmond here at Frankston Oval. They lead 7 straight 42. St Kilda 2-5-17 at 3/4 time. Your goal kickers for Richmond. Courtney Wakefield has 2, and singles to Brennan, Bernardi, Stahl, Reid and Keeling. And for St Kilda, just the 2 singles, Rosie Dillon and Tani White.
All Richmond since quarter time. The Saints led by a point at the opening break. Richmond kicked 2 straight to 2 behinds in the second term to lead by 9 points going into the half. And in that term banged on 3 goals to St Kilda's further 2 behinds. The margin 25 as we turn for home. Richmond 7 straight. The Saints 2-5-17. The final term coming up next. This is Grandstand AFLW on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Available now on ABC Listen. Enjoy great Aussie audiobooks all summer long. Now free to stream on the ABC Listen app. Like Lion, A Long Way From Home.
The first word I said to my new parents was Cadbury. Cadbury is synonymous with chocolate.
And 488 rules for life.
As someone who cooks like the Swedish chef from the Muppets, I can't, in all good conscience, instruct anyone to clean as you go.
A great range of ABC audiobooks, free to stream on the ABC Listen app. AFLW. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Watton Benani contests the tap. Ball ricochets to Reid, the debutant on the left. What a goal by Stella Reid on debut. Just threw it on the left through. Fantastic goal sense. It sailed through. And she gets her first goal in AFLW footy.
In the ruck contest, Brennan had the legs taken out. Free kick going the way of the Tigers. Watt slid in. Brennan came over the top. Slow approach. 14 goals on the season last year for Katie Brennan. Missed one in the second term. Doesn't miss there. The captain kicks a big goal for Richmond. One of three Saints on debut this evening. Leah Cutting. Oh, goes across the goal. Wakefield again. Body contact from Jacobson, strong through the air, arms outstretched above her head, intercepts another kick inside the defensive 50 for the Saints. Right foot kick on the way, doesn't look like missing.
The AFLW on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
The Tigers really flexing their muscle here at Frankston. The sun's set behind the Brian Mace grandstand. It's a beautiful night for football. A healthy crowd in here, and they've seen the Tigers really turn it on since quarter time. 5 straight goals to 4 behinds of St Kilda, and it's Richmond by 25 points in the AFLW Season 6 opener. 7 straight 42 to 2-5-17. Joel Peterson and Jess Webster calling the action for you on Grandstand AFL. Great to have your company on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital right around the country. Of course, you can get select games on the AFLW app throughout the 2022 campaign as well. And if you're listening tonight, love to hear from you where you're listening. If you're on the road or you're on holiday somewhere, sitting by maybe not a fire in summer, but sitting by the beach, having a cold one, or maybe the customary cup of tea in the evening. 0467 920 222. Leave your name and where you're messaging from. 0467 920 222 is the SMS number. Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins are our experts. Meg, it's been a real display since quarter time by Richmond, and doesn't look like abating anytime soon.
No, it doesn't. Richmond is playing a really good brand of football. We did speak at half time about whether or not Richmond could play the oval or the field like St Kilda were. They don't necessarily have to. I think what they've done is that they've worked out how St Kilda are playing. They're trying to use shape to get it out of their back line and move it up the ground. So we saw Courtney Wakefield get her goal there just by, just giving a little bit of space there for that switch, but not enough, just enough space for her to close it down and take that mark, that intercept mark, to have a set shot in the back line and in the forward line. So, yeah, I think what they've done is they've worked out, yes, they want to use shape here, so let's give them a bit of shape, but not enough that we can actually cut them off and cause some intercepts. So that's been really, really great. Mon Conti is dominant on the field. She's moving so smoothly. This has been her first pre-season, Shiloh. First pre-season of football since I can recall. She's always been balancing that with basketball all the time. So, she is always playing at a super, super high level, but she just looks more confident in being able to tackle and to be in. She's always great in tight situations, but she's even better now. Is that possible?
Oh, absolutely. She's only so young, and Mon's got a lot of improvement left in her. And what I like about tonight's game from Mon is that she's doing the work on the inside. She's working hard. The fact that she's at 5 tackles already, 6 clearances, 21 disposals. She's running at a disposal efficiency rate of 71%. And she always has so much pressure. That shows you the quality of player that Mon is, that you're still hitting 71% disposal efficiency with all the pressure and the numbers and the tags and shutdowns and double teaming that you get. And she's still able to execute 6 handball receives. Shows you the work rate. That is elite. And if you're a young player at home, you're aspiring to play at this level, you watch how Monique plays her football, the work rate, the effort, the process, and that's exactly what you need to do if you're going to become elite. I think we're going to be really excited by Mon. I've known her since she was about 13 or 14. This is the first time she's played football without basketball in her whole life, essentially. And we don't know what she can do when she's only in one sport. And I think that's really exciting for us as the viewer, the listener. I can't wait to see what she does this last quarter. I can imagine she'll go up another notch. Tilly Lucas-Rod, I'm going to talk about her. I'm loving her game. I've never seen her play the midfield as she is tonight. Her disposal efficiency, it's not super. She's always had some challenges by foot, but I love the fact that she's doing the hard work to intercept the football. When she gets the football, she's in the middle of the ground or she's on the half-forward line. She's not deep in defence, so she can then rebound the footy deep inside their 50. So loving that move by Nick Del Santo with her.
She has moved forward now for this start of this quarter, so a bit of payback there when I said the Caddy. No, just joking. But she has moved forward, but she has been fantastic in the midfield. I hope she does go back in there. Really love seeing her play. And speaking of Katie, she has gone back into the midfield. She's made a huge difference there. A little bit of grunt, a little bit of smarts, releases Mon and just allows the other midfielders to work.
So let's go in the final turn. Richmond by 25 points as we get it underway. It's Watts in there against Seymour for the Tigers in the middle. Seymour's kick scrubs its way to Lavey. Handball to Sarah Hosking, to Seymour, to Lavey. Through the middle of the ground go Richmond. To Brant Catazano, who links up by hand with Brennan. And Brennan kicks inside the 50 and the mark pulled in by Wakefield. Those trademark hands on display once more. They've been one grab all class tonight. She'll have a shot for her third from 35 out, almost directly in front.
And that's what we talk about by being willing to do the work on the inside there. They ran together. They ran hard for each other. They weren't looking for cheap handballs on the outside, but they ran together, worked hard, won the footy inside, and they got this opportunity.
So Courtney Wakefield looking for her third goal to give Richmond a 31-point lead. It's off the instep, shanked away to the left. Minor score. First blemish for the Tigers tonight. 7-1 placed in Kilda 2-5. A minute gone in the final turn.
Jacobson plays on and then has a bounce. And handballs to Woodward, who then gives it off. And a long kick comes out of defence. It's close to the boundary line on the outer wing. And plenty of players around this footy. We're going to have a stoppage right in front of the grandstand on the outer wing. A minute and a half late in this final term. All Richmond since quarter time. They've kicked 7 straight goals. It's been a fantastic performance by the Tigers. It's from the throw-in. Hosking gets her hands on it. She can't do anything with it. And now Conti has a go. She's tackled by a couple of Saints. And again, we'll have another stoppage. Wing position out of sight.
Up it goes. Rewat for St Kilda. Slaps it down, almost hooked it down. Sarah Hosking is there. Tani White shovels it out of the contest for St Kilda. Phillips's handball forward. Vesely along the boundary line. Can't keep it in front of the Brian Mace grandstand. Underneath the scoreboard and the clock up there, the two Dolphin logos. Of course, this the home of Frankston in the VFL men's competition and the VFL women's as well. And the Frankston Tiger Sharks, I think they were. Big contest off the footy. White runs into Sarah Hosking. Conti bursts away with it for Richmond. Kicks to half forward. It gets over Starlin out the back to Lavey. And Lavey's got Wakefield all alone inside the forward 50. In fact, it's Bernardi who's marked it. Thought about playing on. And Christina Bernardi will go back from 20 metres out, slight angle right of centre, and try and kick her second goal.
Joel, I know Tessa Lavey's one of your favourite players. We haven't seen much of her. She's so early in her football career. We talk a lot about youngsters, but I feel like she's one we're going to talk about for a long time.
She's got tremendous touch for a relative newcomer to the game. And Christina Bernardi puts the finishing touch on the set shot. And what will be a Richmond victory to start season 2022. 8-1-49 Richmond, St Kilda 2-5-17. Early stages final term on Grandstand AFLW. Your experts are Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins.
Yeah, Richmond there, I know it was off an advantage free kick, but they used a bit of shape there to actually get the ball out into open space. Really great bodywork and teamwork there to create the overlap. And then, really great smarts there by Tessa Lavey just to pop it over the top there to Christina Bernardi. She won't miss many of those ones from right in front. She's got good reward there.
Bernardi becomes the second multiple goal scorer of this afternoon alongside Courtney Wakefield. Both forward stars have 2 goals each. Fantastic crowd here at Frankston Oval for their season opener. So we're back in the middle. Seymour against Cutting. Give that one to Seymour. Brennan comes through. She can't take the ball with her. Now White, she's stripped of it. Bran Catazano has a go. They're still inside the centre square as Seymour tries to have a go. No, it spills out now to Dillon. She's tackled by Bran Catazano and forces another stoppage. It's been highly contested footy all night. We haven't gone too far outside the centre circles. We'll do it all again. Cutting in front position. The umpire's found a free kick. And it is a hold. It's going St Kilda's way to Rosie Dillon. Right inside the centre circle. We haven't gone far. There's Rosie Dillon. Looks to advance St Kilda forward. She's called to play on. It's an ugly kick off the boot. Lucas Rod has a few Tigers to beat. She tries to paddle it to Priest, who's pushed off it by Stahl. Kick around the corner. And there's now a foot race, and Keeley will try and get there for the Tigers, but coming through late is Jacobson of the Saints. Now Brennan has a go. She fumbles once, twice, just paddles it in advantage to Keeley, close against the boundary line. Little dinky kick inside the right forward pocket. It's picked up by White of St Kilda, and she will send it outside of defence. And the ball tracks towards the boundary line, and it'll be a touch off the boot, and let's go down to Lauren on the boundary.
Yeah, we've just had Tilly Lucas-Rod just hobbling off the boundary a little bit here. She was just favouring the right ankle, so she's got the physio looking at it now.
Lauren Borden on the boundary for us on Grandstand AFLW. Tigers by 32 points. 5.5 gone in the final term as it gets awfully dark overhead here at Frankston too. A real radar check kind of a moment. Tigers come forward, or Saints come forward from the stoppage. Ball in the hands of Greiser. Crowd posted at 3,324 here at Frankston this evening. It's been a nice turn-up for AFLW's first incursion. Bayside down on the peninsula. Phillips has got it in the centre of the ground. Flares it to half-forward. Darcy stands in the way again. She's been impenetrable in defence tonight for Richmond. Almost turned it over to Phillips. Was taken well on the outer side by Birchall. Speared the pass into the Bernardi, though the Tigers will go straight up the guts again.
Oh, she's got Yesaya all alone at half-forward, but she dropped the mark, and now McCarthy comes in. But the ball spills to Conti. She handballs to Dempsey from right half forward. Into full forward. Wakefield drops the mark. And there has been a free kick as well, and it is going Richmond's way for a trip. So taking the free kick, a myriad of Tigers to choose from. It's going the way of Megan Keeley, who will line up for a shot on goal. 30 metres out, no real angle to speak of.
Well, that was unfortunate. Really just undisciplined play there. Just put their hand out to try and stop Keeley running off, and didn't need to do it. They're out. Now they've got a shot on goal, the Tigers.
So Keeley, she's already kicked one in the opening term, making her AFLW debut tonight, and make it two. That didn't look like missing. As the Tigers again cause further pain for St Kilda. They move to 9-1-55. Lead the Saints 2-5-17, 7 minutes played, final term.
I think it's just work rate now. I think Richmond is just a touch, or maybe a little bit more than a touch fitter than St Kilda, and they're just starting to really run all over them. Their work rate in terms of the first, second, third, and even fourth efforts right down the contest. They're following their kicks. They're going up to help support their teammates. That's been a real standout for me in terms of Richmond, is that their work rate and their coverage across the board.
What I'm liking about Richmond as well, Hutch, is their cohesion as a group. It's probably the most I've seen them play in a really collaborative, cohesive manner. So it gives us the idea that they're starting to bed down that kind of core team effort and the way in which they operate as one unit. It's really nice to see.
So Richmond's highest score was last year 9-6-60 against Geelong in that 47-point thumping. So they might be on track here to break new ground as far as they're concerned. The Tigers, they're 5 points away from that. We're 8 minutes through the final term, and the Richmond are camped across half forward. White's been outstanding for the Saints tonight. Again, she tries to repel off half back. Handball toward Lucy, or toward Alice Burke, who has Van Dyke running in support. Vesely and Sarah Hosking go crashing into one another. Now the footy is taken by Cordner, who's tackled across the boundary line. And it rolls out for a throw-in. Broadcast side centre wing between the interchange gates. 38 points the margin, 9 gone final term.
So Poppy Kelly has just come to the bench. We'll get Lauren to provide us an update. The debutante for Richmond playing against her old side tonight. She's come hobbling to the bench, surrounded by a couple of trainers. So we'll get an update on that soon as from the boundary throw in. The ball is tucked back towards the boundary line, and we're going to do it all again.
Joel, you mentioned Tani White and the work that she's put in tonight. 11 tackles from Tani White.
So the umpire spins it back into play. And what wins front position? Dylan picks it up, hacks it forward to Greiser. She collects the ball, but stripped of it. And now the Tigers with it. Dempsey runs away. Little chip forward to Seymour. She's got Lavey on her outside. In fact, it is Lavey. He kicks it long inside 50. Yesai in a one-on-one against Burke. And it spills to Van Dyke of St Kilda, who handballs to Priest, who goes for a bit of run at right half back. Kicks to a 2-on-1 favouring the Tigers. And picking it up is Hosking. Her handball, though, is intercepted by Woodward. She's under pressure with the kick. It spills to Dylan, but the ball trickles along, and we will have a boundary throw in just inside the boundary line, grandstand side. Let's quickly get down to Lauren on the boundary.
Just a quick check on Poppy Kelly. She's getting her right knee worked on by the physio, so just a bit of a massage there. She looks okay, though, so I think she'll be fine to jump back on the field for the rest of this match.
From the stoppage out of side, Vesely through the traffic. Kick from Alice Burke, ricocheted back to her, and then she threw it on the boot. Has been able to find Izzy Shannon at right half forward. 2 kicks from home for the Saints. Goes with a low pass inside the 50. Bounces off the chest of McCarthy for St Kilda. Sarah Hoskins over the top of it for Richmond. Shovelled out toward Conti for the Tigers. Handball off. It's slammed forward by Seymour. Up the wing. Wakefield can't drag it in. That's been a rarity tonight. Lucy Burks there for the Saints was dealt with after she got rid of the football. And she'll take a free kick. Her top-up player, replacing Paige Price on the Saints list, the former college basketballer from in the US, West Texas A&M. To here at St Kilda in the AFLW. She turned it over and Richmond have got possession across half-back. Shevlin a high kick toward half-forward. Stahl sat under it. Reaching across her was Jacobson to bring it down. It spills to centre half-forward. Brennan got in the back of the opposite number 3 in Burke. And the Saints will take it through Priest into the centre square.
Oh, no, the Saints have messed it up. Jacobson, she can still get them out of trouble. She does. Handballs to Priest. Goes for a bit of run from the wing. Kicks Saints to half-forward. Solitis in a one-on-one with Darcy. I don't think she's going to win that one as the Tigers emerge with it. Now Conti with the ball. Kicks Richmond back up to half-forward. Goes over Stahl's head. And now Yesaya collects it right half forward. She crosses 50. Numbers favouring the Tigers inside 50. And Bernardi takes the mark. And she's going to line up for her 3rd goal of the evening. She's 25 metres out, directly in front.
Well, Conti goes out to 27 touches, 8 clearances, 6 tackles. Yes, sir. Just knows where her teammates are, doesn't she? She's absolutely dynamite, really quick, keeps her feet, really agile, great awareness around what's happening around the ground, but also down the field as well. Terrific inclusion for the Tigers tonight.
And taking the mark, it was in fact Katie Brennan who's going to line up for her 2nd goal of the evening. Shouldn't make a mistake from here. Katie Brennan comes in, raises the one hand. Trademark celebration for Katie Brennan. Richmond's 10th goal of the evening, and it has brought up their record score in AFLW. 10-1, 61 leads St Kilda 2-5-17. 13 minutes played final term, and the Tigers record score season opener. They've arrived in 2022.
Yeah, Shai, you spoke a bit earlier about cohesion, and what we're noticing from tonight is Richmond's cohesion very vastly different to what we've been seeing the last couple of years. That's obviously, for me, they got a new coach, and they've had a coach for a couple of years now, maybe same messaging as well. St Kilda, new coach this year, is that affecting their cohesion as well? That goal also off the back of some incredibly great work rate. Gabby Seymour came across here to help Sarah Darcy off just right in front of us on the wing.
Thoughts of Meg Hutchins on Grandstand AFLW alongside Shiloh Curtis in the experts chair this evening. From the stoppage, Priest takes it away for the Saints. Handball to Guttridge, got it on the boot, picked up by Jackie Vott, down low at her feet, got the kick away to McCarthy, who marks 45 out. looks up, spears the pass at the feet of Solitis. Couldn't do much with that. Alice Burke's there in the forward pocket for the Saints. So too is Izzy Shannon. She throws it on the boot around the corner. Seymour on the last line, just got it away. Handball now knocked down by Vaught, who the former soccer player used her soccer skills there. But that was a cross rather than a strike at the keeper, and it trickles out for a throw-in in the left forward pocket. The Saints deep into attack.
14 minutes played, final term, and Richmond lead this one by 44 points. A chance for St Kilda to get a late goal. The umpire spins it back into play. Seymour taps it down. It's rowed by Shevlin. Nice kick outside, defensive 50, lands in the lap of Yasia, who marks centre half back. She goes in a Wakefield direction, marks in a pack of four St Kilda players. She can do no wrong tonight, Courtney Wakefield. She handballs to Bran Catazano and then gets it back from her. Kicks out wide to Tess Levy, who kicks Richmond inside forward 50 over the head. Had the flying shot at goal there. Sorry, the flying attempt at mark. There's a Richmond player down. Can't quite spot who it is. It is
Yasu? Looks like
yeah, Yesiah, the young debutante. She just landed awkwardly. She had a fly at the ball, and then I think maybe had just got her legs
across as she went back with the fly.
And then it's fallen quite heavily on her back.
She doesn't suffer falls though. She's been pretty tough tonight.
I was confused because she took the mark at centre half back and then ran all the way down the forward line. I'm like, how did she get down there so quickly?
Well, I was just going to comment, the work rate. Like, she was the one who was exiting the football from the D50, so good to see she's jogging off. She's up and about. Looks like she's got a bit of a smile on her face, and she's pretty happy as she sort of runs off the field. I'd be wanting to finish on the field. I wouldn't be super happy about coming off, but she's got a lot to be really proud of tonight.
I don't really understand how it ended up as a free kick out of all that. Anyway, Jacobson kicks outside the defensive 50 and Rewat juggles the mark in line with the back edge of the centre square in front of the grandstand. She handballs off to Lucas Rod, who chips one up the outer side wing. Darcy's there for Richmond. Outstanding tonight in defence. Handball to Levy. Her handball knocked down by Van Dyke, and centre of the grandstand wing will have a throw-in. Richmond with their highest score in their time in the AFLW, the first game of their third season in the competition, 10-1-61. St Kilda 2-5-17. Richmond's highest winning margin, incidentally, is 47 points. That came in that same game against Geelong last year in round 5. So they could break a record on a couple of fronts tonight, the Tigers. Darcy for Richmond as the ball spilt toward the back edge of the centre square at right half back. Chips it up and down the mine shaft, and Keeley marks on the AFLW logo. Turns it straight over to Tani White of the Saints.
She kicks it down the line, looking for Solitis, but Darcy again first to meet it. She gets the handball away to Miller, who just handballs along the ground. Kat Phillips picks it up, and Miller drives her into the turf and over the boundary line. It will be a throw-in between wing and half forward for St Kilda.
Miller's tough. So tough.
I love the work of Miller, Cordner and Darcy. Those three down there just patrol that back line and just own it.
Close to full time. Richmond lead up by 44 points as the boundary throw-in falls just short, so Bran Catazano went without it. And now Conti again, she picks up Mrs. Keeley with the handball, and now a chance for Tani White, who collects, handballs to Vesely, and then she handballs to Leah Cutting from 50 metres. Chips a kick inside forward 50, and Jess Matten marks unopposed. 35 metres out from goal, almost directly in front, and she'll line up for her first of the evening.
I hope she kicks this. She works so hard, Jess Matten. She just works so hard physically. Her defensive work as a small forward is just outstanding. Deserves the opportunity to have a shot.
So Matten comes in, the young 19-year-old, who looks pretty good off the boot as she squeezed it home. Jess Matten, a nice goal to finish it off for St Kilda. Made her debut in 2021. She played 3 games, kicked 4 goals, and she's got herself on the scoreboard in 2022. A late consolation prize for St Kilda, who trailed Richmond 10-1-61 to 3-5-23. 18 minutes played in the final term.
So for those that wanted a visual, Shiloh Curtis just did a little dance because her wish was granted up in the commentary box. That was fantastic. A fantastic finish. Just reward there. Really, really clean footballer.
How good of a kick, though, is Jess Matten? Just beautiful. Just punches through the footy. It was certainty. She's Perkins-esque.
Yeah.
Sarah Perkins.
Pure.
Absolutely. Love it.
She was billed as one of their improvers this season. Speaking to Paddy Hill earlier before the game. She's on the scoreboard. Jess Madden, she does that regularly. Fifth goal in her fourth game. Plenty of them in the VFLW season as well, kicking almost 10. The Tigers go inside the forward 50 here. Free kick for a bit of holding on off the ball. Hannah Priest scurries over to pick the football up and overarms it back to Bianca Jacobson inside the Saints defensive 50. She kicks outside the back arc and virtually infringed. It doesn't matter though. Richmond have recorded an emphatic win to start season 6 in the AFLW. The Tigers burst out of the gates and win by 38 points.
A fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and skin. If we're behind, then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tiger, yellow and black, we're from Tigerland.
It was end-to-end in the opening term. St Kilda kicked 2 of the first 3 goals. Richmond then banged on an absolute avalanche of scoring, kicking the next 9 and rattling their way to a 44-point lead. A late goal to Jess Madden dragged something back for St Kilda, but Richmond starts season 6, their third in the competition, with a big victory. Maybe a little bit of a statement that this Tigers side is finally getting it together, and to start season 6 they win by 38 points.
A fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and skin. If we're behind, then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tiger, yellow and black, we're from Tigerland.
Crowd of 3,324 here at Frankston Oval. Not the result St Kilda would have wanted. For Richmond, a very good one indeed. 2 goals to each of Katie Brennan, the captain, Christina Bernardi, Courtney Wakefield, who had sticky tape on her hands all evening, Megan Kearley, and singles to Stella Reid on debut and Taylor Stahl for St Kilda. A first goal in AFLW footy for Tani White, a first goal for AFLW footy for Rosie Dillon, and a 5th for Jess Madden, their 3 goals this evening. We're with you for another half an hour or so here on Grandstand AFLW. We'll bring you some reaction from both teams with Lauren Borden, who's on the boundary for us. We'll also take a look at everything happening in sport, and a big weekend of AFLW action. Of course, tomorrow you'll be able to get the Western Bulldogs in Melbourne through ABC Sport Digital and the AFLW app. And the Derby tomorrow, Fremantle and West Coast, we're also covering as part of our coverage here on Grandstand AFLW. Richmond 10-1-61 defeats St Kilda 3-5-23. The Saints have made their way off the field here at Frankston. We had storms earlier. The sun came out for the start of the game and remained throughout, and it certainly shone on those in yellow and black wearing their Indigenous jumpers tonight. A striking design for Richmond and a pretty striking performance, it must be said. We'll get Shiloh and Meg's analysis of it all on Grandstand AFLW very soon. The Tigers are huddled up on the AFLW logo, all bar Katie Brennan, who finishes an interview with the TV broadcaster and then rushes her way to join her teammates on the logo in time for the song, as Richmond victorious to start the season off. the huddle. They come together in celebration. Richmond's a 4th win in the AFLW for them. 3 of those came last year as they closed the season 3-2 in the final 5 games. And they start season 2022 off with a bang as well. 10-1-61 to 3-5-23. Reaction from both camps coming up. We'll preview the rest of the round. We'll turn our attention to the Ashes, which continues tomorrow on Grandstand as well. For now, though, the thoughts of our AFLW experts, Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins.
Yeah, I think, fantastic performance there by Richmond. We spoke during the game about whether or not they'd be able to play the style of game that potentially would be better on this ground that St Kilda were doing. But Shiloh, you mentioned that they are very much an outside team, and that's exactly what they displayed tonight. They were a plus 27 in their uncontested ball, pretty much equal on the contested ball, so they were able to match them on the inside, but absolutely blow them away on the outside, and they're just really, really good, clean disposals. Disposal efficiency, 62 to Richmond, 49 to St Kilda. Yeah, that shows that level of cohesion that's starting to develop here with this Richmond team. So I think Richmond's outside game was outstanding tonight, and it's a really, really enjoyable brand of football to watch.
Yeah, it was, and certainly in the second half, it took them a half to do the work to win, to learn how to do the work to win the footy on the inside, so you earn the opportunity to play on the outside. I think that's one thing that you can be an outside team, but you have to earn that because you've got to own the inside space to get the ball out on the outside. So that's really critical. So I thought they were terrific in that they learned how to earn the football in that space, and then when they had it, they used it really well.
They used it well, and they had good targets up forward. Now, every time there was a particular player for Richmond that took a mark tonight, Shiloh, hands above the head from you. Big, strong hands, because that's what Courtney Wakefield did this evening. A couple of goals, a couple of really good marks, and she's been good enough to join Lauren Borden on Grandstand AFLW. Lauren.
She sure hasn't. Courtney Wakefield, along with your own performance, how nice is it to get the team win after such a long time in pre-season?
Yeah, it seems like that's all we were doing was training for pre-season there for a little while. But yeah, look, it was really nice to come out. We've trained that way all pre-season, and to come out and execute in round 1 like that was really pleasing.
And what about, down forward, the whole forward line? It was just like a well-oiled machine there. No matter a little bit of dew, a little bit of wet down here, everyone was taking their marks.
Yeah, they really stuck tonight, didn't they? I guess sounds a bit cliche, but in any weather, we'll be throwing ourselves at the ball, and if they're lucky enough to stick, then we'll make them stick.
Yeah, and 2 goals for yourself tonight. Last year, you played every game of the season. How do you feel yourself coming into another year?
Yeah, fantastic. It's probably, I say this at the start of every pre-season, I think, but I'm probably the fittest I've been. We had a couple of minor hiccups during the pre-season that set us back a little bit, but yeah, here we are in round 1, and you wouldn't have known, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll head up to the commentary box now. We've got Shiloh Curtis and Meg Hutchins there in our experts.
Yeah, terrific effort. We loved watching the cohesiveness of the forward line, but it felt like there was a broader cohesion amongst the whole team. I feel like that's the most united I've seen Richmond play, the biggest team effort. What have you done over the off-season and I guess the pre-season to really create that united focus in the group?
Yeah, that was really pleasing, wasn't it? But we've just made everyone, we've given everyone a role, and if everyone plays that role, then we seem to come together really well, and whether it starts in the back line or down in the forward line, we seem to play really well for one another. What we did tonight, and hopefully, well, no doubt that will continue throughout the season.
In terms of the cohesion of the group, I did notice in the off season a number of players came up to the farm and visited. Is that part of the initiation process for the players?
Yeah, well, look, it's been 5 years, and I've swung the door open for the past 5 years, and I've had 4 players come. So, and they were probably the 4 standouts tonight. So, a bit of a shout out to the group. Come to Top Hut.
And probably last question from me to Monique Conti tonight, 29 touches. She did a fair bit of work on the inside. Has some of the messaging to Mon been around, you've got to work harder to win the inside footy and up your tackle count and the like, rather than just try and win the footy on the outside, because she was superb inside as well as outside tonight.
Yeah, she was a real bull tonight, wasn't she? And I don't think that was a direct message, but she just... Oh, it's cut out. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we've got you.
Sorry. She just has a knack for winning the ball on the inside. I'm probably a very attacking player, but now that she's added that defensive side to her game, I think she's going to be a real star. Well, already is a real star.
might be a sign that we need to let you go and join your teammates on the outer side. Courtney, congratulations on your performance tonight and that of the team. All the very best for what's to come in season 2022.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Courtney Wakefield joining us on Grandstand AFLW with Lauren Borden. 34 from Top Hut up near Goal past Mildura. She's spending her time in Melbourne now in pre-seasons. It looks like it's made a difference to her footy.
Geez, if you were the GWS Giants, you'd be a bit annoyed, wouldn't you? Because she does live on the New South Wales side of the border. So,
yep.
But I'm going to put one to you. You've got 10 seconds on the clock. Ball comes in. You can choose Katie Brennan or Courtney Wakefield to take the mark. Who do you pick?
How's it coming in? Can I ask that? I reckon so. If it's coming in high on, there's not many players in the AFLW, I don't think, that can take that kick it on their head mark. Courtney Wakefield is one of them. If it's on the lead, the right in front of the eyes, then I'll have Brennan.
You can't have both.
I tried.
My
the old
question
El Paso girl.
Is this
¿Por qué
the
no los dos?
Is this the goal to win the game, or like I have also follow-up questions? So
what are you trying to say?
This is so deep.
You're getting more than you bargained for there, Charlotte.
It was just a one-word answer I was looking for, really. Wakefield or Brennan? Which one do you pick?
What would your answer be?
I'd take Wakefield.
Yep.
I think she's a better body-on-body contested mark for that reason.
The mark she took down here in the pocket, where she had jumped up and while she was in the air, she got bumped. To have the strength to hold her body shape and take that mark was outstanding.
And her hands don't move. She keeps her core nice and strong, and she really protects the drop zone. But her hands and her arms don't move. Maybe it's all the work on the farm. I'm not sure. But what you instruct young players and kids to do is, even if you can't put a fist in at the contest, at least get body on body and do a body spoil to try and at least deviate their eyes or their vision or their hands in some way. But she doesn't lose that. She doesn't lose that focus on the footy physically, and it's just incredible. So I was blown away by her contested work tonight. Fantastic.
What I do notice is that, they're two fantastic forwards to have in a team. Katie tends to initiate the body contact, to try and use that body contact to find space, whereas Courtney knows that it's coming and she's like, bring it on, I've got my hands up here, and throw whatever you got at me. So what a great luxury to have, those two types of forwards, roaming around your forward line, and then Katie being able to be released into the midfield as well.
And then the smalls that they had tonight. So you see her looks like a player already, just with her energy around the ball. Megan Keeley, who can go into the midfield, but kicked a really nice roving goal. Stella Reid did not... You see occasionally with those kind of young players, all you need to see is 2 or 3 a game, just glimpses, and you see with Reid the mark out here at centre-half forward, the goal inside the forward 50 when she took it off the pack and curled it home. They've got a bit to work with, Richmond.
And they didn't look out of place out here tonight. AFLW stage. Two top draftees came in. As Joel said, their energy, I thought they didn't look afraid. And I think that's really good signs.
And that speaks a lot to the preparation of the players too. You don't put them out on the park if they're going to be outsized or they're underprepared or emotionally can't cope with the pressure, because you don't want them coming out and having one game and then, oh, geez, I'm so far off it, and then you miss out the rest of the season. So there's a lot of work you put into them. But I think, we've spoken for a few years now that the real talent or the real stars are these kids coming through the pathways, and if you invest in pathways long term, you end up getting great outcomes. And these players that we've got Georgie Press-Parkers, of course, Charlie Rowbottom this weekend, number 1 and 2 draft picks I'm really excited to see what the kids bring. But Yasser was just outstanding today. I'm looking forward to seeing what else the other kids do this weekend.
I've got a question for both of you, just on the pathways that you've just mentioned. What I find interesting is the difference, I think, between AFL women's and AFL men's. And when we talk about AFL men's sides who are young, it's always about development. They're not going to be good for a few years, and it's almost a disadvantage with obviously, looking ahead in the next few years. What I love about AFL women's is the girls who are getting drafted now are coming from pathways that weren't available to some of the more established players that we're seeing in the competition. And they come in and they just have an impact. When we think about like Patricia Ross and Tiana Smith, who are missing tonight, but they're two that stand out for me, who just come in and have an impact. Mon Conti just turned 22, I think she is. She's won 3 Best and Fairest. I think it's incredible, and I love that about the AFL women's competition, is that the girls that are getting drafted have played footy their entire lives. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like they're empowered to be the best that they can be from really early on. I'm not privy to know what the conversations and the speakers around AFL men's, but potentially it's like, let's give the young boys some time to develop and let's just nurture them along the way. Whereas the females, it's like, let's actually empower them to have impact straight away. You've earned your spot. You're here for a reason. This is your time to shine. So, as I said, I'm not aware of what the conversations are had at AFL level. I'm only aware of what happens at AFLW level, but that is my impression at the moment.
I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I think in some ways, you look at the inactive list, how many young kids have actually stepped away from the game, whether it's through mental health or they need a break, and I worry about that. So when I, in my former life in working in AFL Victoria and the development of the high performance programs there, we always knew that these kids were going to be the first crop of stars that were going to carry this competition. We always knew it was going to be the Ali Blackburns, the Izzy Huntingtons, the Contis, the Press Parkises, and there are two of them. We always knew those kids were going to carry that, and so we put a lot of work into their mental toughness and resilience because we knew there was going to be a lot of pressure and expectation on them. And I do worry about that. I worry that the kids don't have the licence, the girls don't have the licence that the boys do to kind of just get out there, get some experience. Georgie Press-Parkis is expected, because of her sister, because of the way she plays, she is expected to be the rising star. Charlie Rowbottom's probably going to say something about that, but she's gone up there to Gold Coast. She's going to be expected to carry that team. There's no freedom for them to find their way like the boys do, and I do worry about that. And also the list, the smaller in the AFLW, they're only 30 or so their players compared to the men's game, so you don't have any room to hide in the women's competition. So it's great, but I do worry about the emotional, psychological toll on that, not having that flexibility and freedom to hide a little bit, just to find your way. You're really young. You're trying to get some experience and wisdom at this level. That's a luxury that the boys get that the girls don't get. It's really interesting.
And a lot of players we're seeing drafted, you think of Keeley tonight, players, mature age players that are
Levy.
coming in having an impact, and then, Levy. So players who are young in football experience, but not necessarily in terms of outright age, are making an impact too.
And if we think about this season and the impact of COVID, I was talking with someone else in the competition earlier today, and we were having a yarn about it's going to take a bit of luck with injury and the like, but to be honest, it's going to take a bit of mental toughness and resilience around COVID. There are going to be a lot of moving parts this season. There are going to be teams and players that are ill or unavailable. We see North Melbourne's captain Emma Carney's ruled out. Sheila was ruled out tonight because of that as well. So you're going to have to be emotionally resilient. You're going to have great emotional intelligence. You've got to be able to be agile. You've got to be flexible. You've got to be able to cope with the unexpected. And given the Victorian teams are now with their third year into living in life this way, the Queenslanders didn't probably have to go through what we've gone here in Victoria. The WA girls haven't had to endure what we've had to endure. So I wonder how mentally fatigued the Victorian players already are. The New South Wales girls, the Adelaide girls, starting to go through that. But the Victorian girls, it's going to be really interesting to see how they're faring emotionally at the other end of the season, whether that's going to become a factor in scoreboard performance.
Yep, and that'll be a discussion that evolves. I think we're going to hear the phrase health and safety protocols plenty as we go throughout this campaign, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, that issue. 0467 920 222 if you want to join us in our broadcast. We're with you for about another 12 minutes here from Frankston on Grandstand AFLW Richmond. Big winners tonight, 10-1-61 over St Kilda, 3-5-23. We've talked about the Tigers, the Saints. We probably all came into this game expecting that Richmond would win. And I sort of thought the first quarter was a pleasant surprise, to be honest, Hutchie, that St Kilda, not that they hung around, but that they looked to have a bit of attacking flair, which I didn't really think that they did. And then it all just, both through Richmond really turning it on, but St Kilda losing their way a little bit perhaps, it just looked to fall away for the Saints. Do you think what we saw tonight is a sign of what could be to come in what might be a pretty testing season?
Yeah, I think St Kilda are going to have a bit of a challenging year. And, we do speak about the players that they have had come back in, but I think the elephant in the room is that their two best midfielders aren't playing tonight. And although they did break even on the contested ball, the outside ball where a Patricios and a T. Smith would be dominant in that side. On the outside, they were run all over by Richmond. So I think, kudos to St Kilda. They showed a huge amount of ticket tonight in terms of how they went about their football. And how they shared the load throughout that midfield. I thought Telly Lucas-Rod was fantastic in the midfield, so fantastic. So well done to the Richmond coaching staff for that move. Rosie Dillon as well, just a workhorse, just tries her absolute heart out. But I think what we'll find is that it's going to be left to too few because their top end has dropped off. And I think, when we look at how Greiser tends to kick her goals, it's when she is left one out, when they do get, as the lights have gone off.
That was abrupt.
That was
there's still patrons having a kick out on the oval, and they've just done the old. Let's just
was that St Kilda telling me to not talk about them anymore?
Yes.
Maybe it was, but
don't want to keep paying the bill.
Greiser does kick her goals when she gets her marks one out, which is when they get fast takeaways by Patrikios and by T. Smith. So, look, they were good. They know how to play this ground very, very well. So I think that will be an advantage, but I think they do have a bit of work to be done.
Patrikios, Tiana Smith, Exxon, Senos has got speed to burn, and then Sheila, in that height. And we saw from Sheila breakout season for her, I felt last year, just really roaming, like as